train headed for Sunset City will be departing soon.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell the world how you don't grammar too good.
I don't grammar too good? Oh, that's
Don't
fine.
grammar good.
Apparently we have side quests now in our...
It's not a side quest. It's just if we can get 50 super chats in the next 15 minutes, we will make a silly noise.
Okay. Chat is saying there's no audio.
Yeah, I know. I just said
Oh,
that
right.
I was fixing
Sorry.
the audio inputs,
Wait,
and that
sound
they
on Twitch,
would
no
say
sound
that.
on YouTube? What?
Anyways, I sent what someone said because I guess they didn't look at my profile pic, but just read the screen cap I sent. It there's a lot to unpack. It's just a lot.
As if someone being a grammar fascist
What the
is
fuck?
getting 40k likes. What a dick.
The main point of contention is the comment right below that
So
threw
Trey
me for
is
a loop.
Trey basically weighs in on a thing where like people were kind of discussing whether or not the Sonic movie 1 redesign thing was a marketing thing, and Trey says, I do not understand how people still think this was a marketing scheme. It costed the studio $50 million. There was merch of the old design, and they took 5 extra months to finish it. And I don't know how many likes that got or what. But then this fucking dickhead
It popped off, yeah.
This fucking dickhead here, Darth Gordita, you prick, says, "What's up with people saying
Yeah, we just calling
costed
out people
and
today.
casted? Is everyone illiterate now?" And it gets 40k likes.
To this person, first off, I know I don't think
Fuck
anybody
you.
can see it, but I'm just gonna say this: you need a capital W at the beginning of that sentence, dumbass.
Ha! Fucking idiot.
Got him.
Also, there should be a
Also-
full stop before "is everyone just illiterate now?" because that is a separate.
Yeah,
sentence.
you need like a comma or something, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
so Jesse, aka
wow.
Darth Gordita on Twitter.com, fuck you.
yeah, if you're a fan of us and have sent super chats, we apologize. It's
No,
fine.
we don't fucking
It's not a big
apologize.
We
deal.
really didn't
You
have
can
to.
give us
It's
more
not a big
money,
deal.
but you can still go
We didn't
fuck
have to say
yourself.
names. We didn't need to say names.
Well,
We
they
could've
didn't
just
have to.
left
They
it at
didn't
anonymous
have to
dickhead.
post. They didn't have to post stupid and potentially ableist shit because Trey could be dyslexic for all anybody knows.
I do have a neurological disorder.
Boom.
I
Boom.
guess
It's officially ableism. I don't
okay.
fucking
I'm not
care.
using that as a gotcha moment. It is.
I am.
It is a
Darth
thing.
Gordita's ableist. Everyone go harass
No,
them
it's not.
to the
That's
point of
not
their
the
mental
point.
health declining.
No.
And then
No.
whatever happens
Hey, join the
next, we're
club.
not responsible for. There you go. We are Twitter now.
The joys of deleting Twitter from my phone. There was a period of time where I just deleted Twitter off my phone.
I've deleted
I
Twitter off
was
my
like-
phone. It's like
I feel-
having.
I
So
don't
the
even
thing
go
is, there's a healthy way of using Twitter, but Twitter is just loud. The website, the world is loud and awful. The website,
Yeah.
and it's one
Yeah.
thing to have that on a laptop and go home to it and stuff. It's another thing to have that in your pocket at all times. Like, don't do
go
it.
home to it.
Yeah. Well, it's also a thing too where like so that initial tweet ended up popping off. I think it got like 60k likes or something, but like it just got a bunch of responses and a bunch of like, so I muted it, but even that doesn't work. Even if you mute something, you still get like mentioned sometimes.
Ray,
and
I got a
people
question.
like, yeah, what's up?
Are you a complete purebred American, or do you have like a percentage of you that's American?
I'm like my great grandma, rest in peace to Big Mama. She's from Italy, or
Right,
Sicily,
then it's
rather.
racism too, because your first
Oh my
language is
God!
Italian.
No, that's not what it
all right?
is. That's not what it is.
Welcome to
I'm losing my
2025,
mind right
everyone.
now. Oh, I need to pull up.
Nah,
YouTube.
man,
Are we-
no one ratios Trey without my fucking input.
Well, thankfully, didn't ratio me. All
Oh.
right, like no one ratioed me. All right, so I'm still good. I'm still
Also,
on
saying
top.
without your input makes it sound like you're doing the Vegeta thing of no one can kill Kakarot but me.
Yeah.
only a good old pup can ratio me.
Well,
Someone changed Twitter for Reddit. You poor soul.
given that Trey, you sound way better than ever before. How would you like to
Yes.
introduce the first episode of 2025?
Welcome, Happy New Year, everyone, to 2025. Welcome to Sunset City, the Sonic podcast for the classic and modern age. I am one of your hosts, Trey Nobles, and we're gonna go over and introduce everyone at the table. Start with Gotta Be Frank.
Hello.
Thank you for that. And with pretty much a special guest next to us, Webster.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me again.
Of course.
All at the courtesy and graciousness of Channel Pop.
All right, shut up.
was me,
And now, I'm kidding. And now, no, it's great to have you. And now our fearsome leader, Channel Pop.
Hey, buddy.
All right. And a little bit of housekeeping. Super chats will be read at the end of the show. Thank you for any super chats that you give to us. It's been gracious. Last year was a fantastic year, and you guys made it possible for all of us, and we just couldn't be more grateful. And we do have a Patreon, Sunset City Patreon, if you'd like to support us there. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Let's see. Not really. We should probably mention. So, you might be wondering, where's Dylan?
Right.
I did the housekeeping. Where's Dylan? And it does pain me to say it, but Dylan has left. So he was like, "It's been a while since I saw my grandma, and I need to see her this weekend." And I said, "If you do this, I'm taking this as your notice of resignation." And he didn't respond to that. He cried a little bit, and it's just, that is what it is. So he has chosen to leave the show entirely by his own device. He will not be back. No, he'll be back next time.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Depends if he's got some stupid-ass excuse, but he will be back. Right now, he's indeed crawling back into his mother's womb. So,
For the duration of this episode, I will answer to Dylan if need be.
Your thing.
Okay.
But you gotta put your voice up a few what's the word for pitch?
Octaves? I don't know.
No.
For the duration of this episode, I will also answer to Dylan.
I will also answer to Dylan today.
You sound like Pops
I
from regular show.
No, I think I sound like Tom Holland.
Good show.
I sound like Tom Holland whenever he's being interviewed. I am really excited to be in the new Christopher Nolan movie, and I can't wait to play Spider-Man again. It was a thing the Weekly Planet did. I was listening to it on the plane to Ireland, and I found it so fucking funny that I was just like, I've got to make this a part of my personality. No,
part of your personality is crazy.
Dylan will be A-okay, and we love him. And
we love Dylan here.
Yeah, we do.
He's a good friend.
I did send him a big message last night, actually, while I was at the barcade. This was while I was at NQ64 with you, Webster. But what did I send him? I said, "You're so at peace with yourself, happy to just be a friendly guy, not feeling the need to be the world's main villain. You could never understand my struggle, my plight. You have no empathy. Fuck you." And then I sent him a picture of a snowman.
Perfect.
How did you get there in between rounds of Time Crisis and beers?
Terry and I also had something to go along with the beers.
Ah, yes, with our friend that we met on the night.
Yeah, with our buddy with the gold teeth. He was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
amazing.
we didn't have what he was having, but
Hey,
he was
yo.
sure enjoying it.
Hey, the only
fair
thing
enough.
he was having was a damn good time.
And all
There we-
power to him, like fucking legend.
There we go.
right,
By the way, I do apologize if you do hear some sniffles and coughs. I'm still getting a little bit better. I was sick throughout New Year's, which kind of a crummy way to stop or to start the new year rather.
Oh, you're sick.
I was.
Man,
I'm
hate
pretty sure.
that.
Within the span of a month, everybody getting sick.
I wish
that is
wasn't
true,
the
yeah.
case. If I could just take all of your ailments and illnesses and just put them into myself, I would.
Somebody put the pup
Pup,
back
I
in the
swear to
cage.
God.
All right, so I'm just getting all my dickheadery out of the way because, like, my New Year's
That's fair.
resolution is to
He's
be
making
less.
up for lost time.
No, wait, my New Year's resolution is to be less of a shit, and I figure the only way to do that is to purge the toxicity.
It's just
So
do it all at once. Yeah.
He's just gonna meet the quota right away.
Yeah, we got to get it all done,
Right,
and then for the rest of
this
the
is gonna be a
episode,
long
I'm
episode.
gonna be like Dylan. I'm gonna be a guy who is at peace with the concept of just being a friendly, sincere fellow. That's
Yep.
my New Year's resolution, Webster.
There you go.
You might have manipulated me a little yesterday by telling me I should be more sincere.
I mean,
I think
it's
he meant
genuine
sensitive.
advice.
Yeah,
I think he meant
Webster, how dare
sensitive.
you?
But we had a big
Sensible
old
or
day.
sensitive?
We had a big old
You brought
day.
this on us, Webster.
Webster, me, Mr. Terry Chaos, who's in the chat. We hung out with Game Apologist. We hung out with Ginger Bob. We hung out with Stevie Harrispex and her partner James. We had a big day out in Birmingham. Am I missing anyone?
Lenny.
Lenny, yes, Lenny. Lenny came later, so that's why I forgot. But yeah, we had a big day out. Nick's first time in the UK.
Ooh, that's sick.
Yeah, we went to the barcade. We shit about. We went to the most depressing game store we've ever seen. And
Aw.
dude, it was so weirdly lit. It was like most of the lights were off, and it was really shadowy. But
they were having to move. So
they just have one flickering light.
Might as well.
No, so Game is like our equivalent of GameStop in the US.
Yeah.
And they've been bought for a couple of years now by a guy who owns a bunch of other retailers. And they're now moving into concession stands in those other retailers.
Yeah, so my local,
wow.
so basically we got a Sports Direct in my town, and I say Sports Direct is pregnant with a game. But like this place is also pregnant with a game. But yeah, we went out, did a little shopping. We saw a giant bull, which was awesome because there's a big bull sculpture or statue or what the fuck. Outside of the barcade area, we saw the Charismatic Titan, which was awesome. And yeah, we had a great old day out. A new Sunset City adventure, if you will.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
It was a gay old time.
Oh, come on, man! You didn't have to make it that way. Come on, man. That's disgusting.
It's a reference to the theme song for like the Flintstones. Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously, what's wrong with
Speaking
you?
of gay old times, though, I watched the Power Rangers Alpha Christmas special, and I hated that. I like to imagine being like a kid on Christmas morning, unwrapping that and thinking, ooh, Power Rangers, but no, it's just fucking Alpha and a bunch of kids singing for 30 minutes.
That sounds terrible.
It's horrible.
I've never really I never really got into Power Rangers, but I would imagine that's like the worst thing ever.
Well, yeah, it's like a lump of coal. Like Power Rangers is like a guarantee of action and epic stuff and awesome things. And when it's just Alpha being like, I'm going to invite some children around for Christmas, it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to watch this?
It's
Yeah.
like you get a Ninja Turtle special, but you just hear from Splinter the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers make a cameo at the end, but it's like, the truth be told, I don't even watch the Power Rangers for the Power Rangers. I watch it for the villains.
That's fair.
That's whereabouts in Power Rangers are you currently?
We are now on the Alien Rangers arc, where so the Power Rangers have been turned into children, and the Alien Rangers have come to kind of sub them out. I thought it was really cute how they took the Power Rangers theme tune and changed it to Alien Range. And I find it really weird.
So by that point, Kimberly has been replaced with Kat, right?
Yeah, Kimberly's been replaced with Kat for a while now.
Okay, so my incentive to watch had ended.
Kimberly, look, Kimberly's great. Kat is worth a chance, all right? Like, Kat is worth a chance. And I know that, like, you know, a lot of kids' first crush was Kimberly and stuff, but, like, I think Kat is first crush material for a lot of kids, too, you know? Like...
That she just comes in with her Australian accent and starts smacking on Tommy like she's always been there. Fucking girl, please.
I mean, I appreciate that perspective, but again, I've only ever been watching for Lord Zed and Goldar, so, like...
Fair.
Well, there you go.
Right, well, we should probably get into the Sonic topics, but first things first, there's 2 people in the Twitch, so hi guys. Hello. Yes, with that all being said, fucking, right, we've got a few things happened in the time we've been away, haven't there? Like,
yeah, a lot of things have happened. I mean, Sonic 3 movie came out. That was pretty sick.
Mufasa came out.
Yeah,
Red 1
I saw that
out.
as well. That is also, yeah. Didn't see Red 1. I did see Mufasa with
Red
family,
1 is
though.
not as bad as people. It's
I
like
don't think it was. It never looked bad.
If
It
you
just
just want
looked
like
kind of
a- I just don't wanna
campy.
watch it.
if
Yeah.
you want like a dumbass,
I just don't want to watch it.
you want a dumbass Dwayne Johnson movie that's very manly, like that is exactly like that's what it
Isn't
is.
that like the majority of his like?
I was
that's
gonna
the majority
say
of
that
his work.
doesn't really narrow it down. Yeah,
But that's what
like
I mean.
most-
Is like it's like if you like that stuff, which which I have a lot of fondness for, then like, yeah, you'll be
Sure.
like, watching 8 Crazy Nights and complaining that it's an Adam Sandler movie. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what you're getting into here. In fact, Nick actually mentioned the other day, or yesterday, that he recently rewatched 8 Crazy Nights, and he was like, I was wrong, and I must let Will do it again.
Oh, there you go.
I mean,
funny, I must not have been around for that admission.
Oh, yeah, no, you weren't. It was in the car on the way to NQ64.
Yeah.
And you were in the other car.
That is plausible.
Well, he didn't hate it, is what I mean to say. But okay, you guys have all now finally seen Sonic 3 after its release.
Yes.
Imagine.
Okay.
Well, what do we think?
All right, Mr. Privilege.
I loved it. I think it suffers the same problems as the other movies had, where there's like some pacing issues, and there's some stuff that I feel like we could have like lingered on more a little bit more. Like there's some cool moments where I'm like, I just wish we could hang out here for a little bit longer. But then it cuts to like a completely like different, it's a tonal whiplash thing. That's my main gripe with the second movie as well, is that there's a lot of tonal whiplash, and the third movie doesn't really fix that at all. But it does, but the heights of the third movie are stronger. Like the highs are higher, if that makes sense.
Oh, just one thing quickly as well, we should probably mention. There's probably going to be some spoilers in it. I think we are at a point now where it's like the movie's been out for a little bit. I don't know if it's been out in all the territories, so if it isn't out in your territory yet, I'm sorry. But I think we're kind of opening the floodgates now. We can talk about Sonic 3's spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
So
sure.
if I should probably put that in.
Yeah, that would be good. But I guess to round off my points, overall, I feel like it was like the perfect end to this trilogy. Like that's how I'm kind of looking at it, is that this is a trilogy of movies. Anything they make after this, in my opinion, should be a whole different story that should seldomly reference this trilogy, if that makes sense. Like this is a pretty solid 3 movie span that we got, like first movie was just kind of like a fun little kids movie, nothing to take too seriously. The second movie definitely upped the game, but still had a lot of DNA from the first movie. And then the third movie definitely went further than I expected. Still had some of that movie 1 DNA in there a little bit, but it's not nearly as noticeable.
Yeah, it was very little compared to compared to Sonic 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think
I was surprised with that. I thought they were going to add a bit more to it and be like, oh, when do we get to see this character?
Right.
Like, oh, I was pleasantly surprised.
In regard to like the pacing thing, like, I think like, like it does have the same overall pacing it has, but to a far lesser extent, and they're far less like my thing with 2 is I could look past everything but the wedding scene. Like, there are things that I'm willing to look past and be like, okay, that joke's going on a little too long, but okay, maybe that is just humor. But I couldn't get past the wedding scene just because it was like, let's just get on with it. This is so...
Yeah.
Like, Sonic himself is the main character, obviously, and he has nothing to do with this. And when you've got that narrative dissonance there, it does feel like an obligation to watch. Sonic 3 didn't have that problem. Sonic 3's pacing issue for me was, I know a lot of people have said it's too much Jim Carrey. And I think that's completely fair. I also kind of treat this as like Jim Carrey's going out movie. This is his swan song. This is his last one, potentially. Yeah. So it's like, we're going to make this the definitive Jim Carrey movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah. In my opinion, it really should be Jim Carrey's last movie because of how it ended. I feel like it's the best way. Yeah.
Like how you mentioned with the whole trilogy Kappa thing as well. It's like, this is the Robotnik trilogy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
These are the ones that have Dr. Robotnik in it. Whatever's next is like the wilderness. Like, what the fuck? Where are we going now?
I'm a little bit torn.
You're a little bit torn?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so I think, like, when I saw the film, I sort of came out being like, that was amazing. But once I'd had time to digest it, the movie was still amazing. I think I would place 2 above it. If I think about pacing on a macro scale, that third act just kind of happens. Like, we have Act 1, Act 2, and then after a certain event, I was expecting the heroes to have like this, we're down on our luck, we need to come together, and then go into the final act. And instead it's like, nah, we're going into space, boys. We're finishing this thing. And it's like the movie realized it was running out of runtime and went, oh shit, and the end.
Yeah, I did notice that there was some stuff like sped up, and I want to kind of like backtrack to like the only scene that kind of resembles the wedding scene is whenever they're infiltrating the gun headquarters, because they do reference back to Rachel and her husband. And to be honest, that scene was very uncomfortable because it did play into a lot of like stereotypes, and I was like cringing a good bit at that because I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I feel like we're kind of past this. Like,
I felt that part dragged on so much.
It dragged. It was uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to be like the friend that's too woke, but it also just like, you know what I mean? It like kind of played into stereotypes a little bit too much.
When you look at the optics of what Tom is doing at the very least.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like,
and at the same time, I was like,
yeah.
well, Tom doesn't get much better because then he impersonates a dead guy. Like,
oh my god. But like that was the one part where I'm like, ugh, I feel like they could have cut some stuff out. Although there was one older gentleman that laughed really hard at the Gerald Robotnik line.
I laughed at that too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people were like kind of giving the movie some shit for that, but it was also like, this is a guy who,
obvious.
Yeah,
he's an old man and he's a villain.
Yeah, that's the joke, is that he's old and out of touch. Yeah, he's old and out of touch. Like, that's the joke. Yeah, exactly.
The big thing was the fact that it's like he hasn't been around anyone.
That's true too.
In decades.
Like
there's no one
50 years. Really? He's been. Basically, while Shadow's been on ice, he's been in prison just making weapons for 50 years. So yeah, he's going to be way
out. For like how out of pocket it was. With the Rachel and Randall thing, like I can buy the whole optics thing. The way I kind of saw it was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is your way of getting Natasha Rothwell and what was the other fellas?
Oh yeah, like from a business or contractual perspective, like, sure.
And I was also just relieved that it was like, oh, okay, we're not going to have to spend any time justifying them being in the movie. They are effectively just character swaps. Fine. I was like, that's better. Because I was worried that it was like, when they got character posts, I was like, oh, please, for the love of God, don't tell me they're getting a subplot. Like,
dude,
we're going to
I was
guys.
The same way. I was dreading the same thing. And then when that happened, I was like, oh, thank God.
So it's like, at least it's over quickly. That is one thing I can say. At least it is over quickly. So
unpopular opinion. I think the human stuff, yes, we were heard. They may have also overcorrected. There's not really like the stuff at gun headquarters happens, and then they're off in the ambulance, and effectively they're out of the movie from that point onwards, and there's no time to really digest what's gone on or feel any guilt over it or anything like that. And we had this whole thing of Kristen Ritter's a big name to sign for just another human character. They must be doing something with her. No, her sort of antagonist role, secondary antagonist role, just kind of disappears after Act 2. She just kind of, we stop hearing from her.
Just a swap out from Commander Walters as well, really. Like, Commander Walters dies, she just pops in. And it's kind of like what they did with, like, Holdo in, like, The Last Jedi, where it's like, Admiral Akbar killed, Holdo just pops in. But I will say, I think, Kristen Ritter being wasted was kind of my biggest gripe with this, because it's also like, this would be a character that would be super easy for it to just be Rouge the Bat. Like, as in, like, so you've already established that cloaking tech that can disguise people exists in this universe. I was half expecting at some point Kristen Ritter to just pop a little cloaking tech thing. Turns out to be Rouge the Bat, gives Robotnik the key, and then Robotnik gives her, like, the crown jewels or something, because, haha, London. And then she flies off, not realizing what the fuck she's done. And the Sonic gang is like, who was that? And Knuckles like, I'm sure we'll run into her again. And then,
that would have been so much better.
Yeah, and then you've got just a little setup for Rouge,
yeah.
and it's a little funny gag on its own 2 feet. But yeah,
anything
no, like,
to satisfy Pup so he can have Rouge on screen.
Look, movie Rouge is not going to stack up, okay? Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Ever
It's-
since they started reinterpreting the tan parts as fur, Rouge was not going to work that way. Okay, like
That is
They're
true.
they're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
nerf
fair.
her. Come on, we both know.
But there's
I
this
mean,
weird thing
it's-
with it where they can't. I mean, if they do bring Rouge in, yes, they're gonna enough. So you're not getting your bazongas. But
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah,
word.
they could have done. They could have done a little bit more with Gun.
I am, but I'm
Like-
going to find fur in my
I-
mouth, and I'm not going to be happy
There-
about it.
They
There's a lot of
haven't played
things.
much. They sort of set up this thing
Mhm.
where Sonic's like, "Oh, I really trust Gun. Oh, now I know Gun aren't giving me the full story, and I don't know where my allegiances lie." And Gun sort of go from "We're going to come to you instead of monitoring you and treating you like a prisoner. We're going to come to you for your help, and we're going to, let you lead your little team, and we're going to rely on you." To, "Oh, actually, you've shit the bed. Maybe
Right.
we shouldn't have that trust or relationship," and that kind of just goes unresolved.
I think, yeah, Sonic 3. So I think, ironically, the movie is too fast, and it does permeate throughout the entire runtime. Whereas I guess Sonic 2's pacing issue is kind of minimalized mostly to that one scene. However, obviously, I don't think it's as egregious in it. But I will admit, it's like, yeah, we go from Sonic's Earth Day party to suddenly he's being drafted in to we are 10 minutes into this and we're already meeting Shadow. and to
Airdropped
be
in
honest,
Tokyo.
And to be honest, it's all fine by me. I would rather a Sonic movie have that whip-fast spirit of adventure to it than be a slog to get through or anything.
Yeah. Or
Like,
or
if you want to talk like real egregious pacing issues, episode 6 of Knuckles is pacing issues incarnate. But Sonic 3 manages to have that issue in a way that doesn't create a bad experience. It's just one where I'm left thinking, it would have been cool if we could have spent a little more time at the birthday. It would have been cool if maybe we could have spent a little bit more time with the aftermath of Tom getting his arm broken. It would have been cool if we could have spent a little bit more time with this, that, and the other. But at the same time, it's like, it would have been cool. It's not bad for it. And I think that's the thing, is we are focusing on some of like our critiques here because that's the interesting thing to talk about. More interesting than just going peak, 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 hype, hype, hype. But I still have this movie in my head, and I don't really do number scores, so don't expect this to be too thought through, but I came out with it at like a 9 out of 10, and in my head it is still a 9 out of 10. Like,
I think my biggest issues from this movie come from just being a Sonic fan beforehand. I feel like if you're going into these movies without really knowing the context as to why any of this is important, then it probably won't be that big of a deal for you. Because my thing is like, okay, first off, how is Gerald still alive? I know people have speculated that like, oh,
that was a thing that- I think
it was a thing. Yeah.
Because like,
They
yeah,
could have definitely left that in. Yeah.
It was that, yeah, like licking the quill was basically keeping him
which
sustained.
I don't
and that
really buy. Yeah,
well,
but
it's
regardless.
at least an explanation, and it's one that I can get behind given the dumb, goofy logic of these movies. But like,
Sure.
the thing is, it's like, yeah, that is one thing we could have afforded to keep him, because now we have these flashbacks to 50 years ago where Gerald Robotnik is still a wrinkly sack of shit.
Just looks
And
the
it's
same,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, hang on a minute. How did he not age at all between that period? And how is he not an absolute skeleton? It's a question, and it's one that doesn't ruin the film or anything, but it's still a question that they could have answered, like, with just a very quick line of dialogue. But
And
like,
It's certainly
and
one of
also-
those films where you're watching it in real time and you're sitting there and you're like a Ritalin-fueled hyperactive toddler, like, yeah, this is amazing, this is and it's sort of, you really enjoy it in the moment. It's sort of about a week later, you go, hang on a second, did we get an answer to...
no, but what's interesting there is,
no.
I said kind of a few days after I saw it to my flatmate who saw the movie with me, like, a lot of movies, it is like, you come out of it and you're quite hyped, you're quite happy. I remember when I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and I came over like, yeah, that was good. And then later I was like, God, that movie's fucking stupid. But like, with this one here, while there are definitely small things here and there like that, I found the movie only got better the more I thought about certain aspects. For example, like Shadow's arc, where the decision to make it so that Maria was not this sick little angel girl, but instead more of a rebellious little kiddo in like a government facility on Earth who wasn't sick, and how they handled like Commander Walters stepping in to actually say, no, don't fucking shoot Maria. And just all those elements. And like, yeah, I went into this being like, if Amy's not the one to redeem Shadow, you can all go fuck yourselves. But I thought the whole analogy with the stars was an incredible piece of writing. And
Oh, hell yeah.
I thought Sonic and Shadow's conversation on the moon as they overlooked those stars, again, amazing piece of character writing there that goes beyond some of the other contemporary blockbusters I've seen that are more geared towards adults. Like, I thought the way Gerald, after basically telling Robotnik, we're gonna fucking blow ourselves up, he was like, there's nothing down there for you. You should know how it feels to be alone and not accepted and stuff. And you can see how Gerald is manipulating Robotnik. And then, like, watching the film a second time, knowing that, Gerald is manipulating things, you notice much more of that with Shadow as well. And I think keeping Gerald alive really contributed a really great primary villain to this movie that kind of takes things in a different direction to Sonic Adventure 2, but one that really complements that story nicely. And then Robotnik's sacrifice, like the first time I saw that, I was like, I'm not sure about killing off Robotnik, but then I was like, we've done something the games can never do. We've given Robotnik a definitive ending, and it was fitting. Like,
yeah, I like, so you mentioned like Maria not having her sickness. I am still, the thing is that it wouldn't have really affected the movie one way or the other, but I do still wish she had her illness, because she still could have been a rebellious, fun little teenager, but still would have had that like connection to Shadow. Because the whole thing with her illness is her connection to Shadow, rather than her just finding Shadow to be just a cute,
Well, I find
little
that
pet,
makes their
I guess.
dynamic kind of more pure. In taking the purpose away from it and just having it so that she's just enamored with him means that she really does see him for who he is without needing a purpose from him. That's what I like about that.
I mean,
Also, the fact
I think
that,
in that,
to me, it makes
Oh,
her
I'm
death
sorry.
even more tragic because she's not just gonna fucking die anyway. Like.
Oh,
no,
Yeah,
well,
it wasn't like a thing where it was delaying the inevitable. It was more of a, oh shit, that.
Yeah, it was like as it is. Like, obviously, Maria's death in the games is tragic, and just the very angle of her being too. But it's just like she really did have a whole life ahead of her, and it's like
I think it's more so what I'm talking about is like the dynamic of they kept each other alive, because Shadow kept Maria alive, and then in turn Maria kept like Shadow alive, like pretty much in terms of personality. And I think like that dynamic in the games, especially whenever we see it in Dark Beginnings, was done like pretty beautifully in my opinion, because it didn't, like, her illness doesn't take away from her character or away from like her relationship with Shadow or
No, of
anything
course
like
not.
that. But I
So
do
if you
understand.
Gerald's obsession. Outside of that, it doesn't do a whole lot in the games. Agreed.
It's
the thing I was kind
yeah.
of thinking as well is, it takes the pressure off of Gerald. And Gerald obviously is a less tragic character this. But
Right.
I think, what I like about this is obviously in that facility, in that gun facility, the only reason Maria is there is because Gerald is just like, I'm going to bring my granddaughter to. Like, it's a very chance encounter, and everyone else there is testing on Shadow and just like, ooh, look at this funny alien. Everyone else
Yeah,
there is like that.
I do.
While
yeah.
Maria, as a child with no skin in the game when it comes to the science side of things, there's that purity there, and because there's no kind of motive of he's keeping me alive or anything, it adds an additional layer of kind of that childhood purity to Maria and Shadow's dynamic that I really, really like. Obviously, I do love Space Hospital. That's fucking cool as fuck. And I wouldn't change it in the games. But I thought this was a really, really inspired way of doing that story.
Are you
do
saying
like,
that it's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I do like how the arc, I guess you could call it. I'm not sure what it's officially called in the movies, but I do like how the
Eclipse
colony
Cannon.
arc was. Well, I'm glad that it was on Earth and then it kind of went up to space. That actually does make a little bit more sense, because let's say Maria was sick. It makes more sense for the hospital for Maria to go to be on Earth. That way her parents would be, a little bit more ease of mind, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Adventure
that-
2, is there's a lot of, like, elements where it's like, how would you have fucking hidden this? But at the same time,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think you could accept that if they'd just from the jump shown that there's, like, 2 moons or something, I think that would have been enough. Like, Well, obviously they're trying to do the realistic world thing, but it's like, yeah, if in Sonic Movie 1, if this had been like planned ahead, they could have just had a second moon inexplicably in the sky. So then when Movie 3 rolls around, it's like, oh, that's what that is. And I think, it's the kind of thing they maybe could have done in the games. Like, for fuck's sake, in the games, like fucking apparitions appear in the sky and stuff, so a second moon's not too out of the ordinary. But in the world of the movies, the fucking boring world, mind you, where the only thing that happens is fucking bowling and weddings, like they had to find a way to kind of justify
that's all we do.
Being hidden. That's all that ever happens.
Oh, that's all that humans do. It's just bowling and weddings. That's it.
That's literally the perfect summary of mankind: bowling, weddings, and war.
and they listen to a crazy man talk about the Blue Devil.
Yeah. Which is just an allegory for religion, I guess. But
there you go. But
maybe it's real, maybe it's not.
I like most of all the changes that were made for this movie made sense, and I'm pretty much okay with all of them. I just and again, this is me coming from a fan perspective. No one who's just watching these movies as a trilogy is going to really give a shit as to whether or not Maria has an illness or not. I always thought that the dynamic between Shadow and Maria was beautiful because it was organic and dynamic on its own, but also they did need each other, either need each other to be healthier, like from a physical aspect, or emotionally and spiritually, I guess you could say, like to live life.
That's still the case. If Maria hadn't been there for Shadow, he would have been making YouTube videos about how TV is woke.
Right, but that's also kind of the point, because these Sonic movies have had sort of a running theme of found family, right? Yeah. And by taking Maria's illness away, she no longer needs to be connected to Shadow. She chooses to be connected to Shadow. And that just feeds that found family theme all the more.
I think I still, I agree with that completely. I think what Trey's saying is valid too. Like, he basically, it's just like, you like the game dynamic. Like,
yeah, like the way that Dark Beginnings had it, I'm like, just do more of that, please. Like that's perfect. Like
of that, because since Dark Beginnings, I think we've all been clamoring for. There was that point where it's like we spent a lot of time on Shadow's origins here. Like a lot of people were making the point of like, we can't have this character and that character in the movie because we've got to spend time on Shadow's origins, and I was a little skeptical of that because I was like, well, in Sonic Adventure 2, we spend 2 minutes on Shadow's origins. This movie extensively looks at that. And there were times I was like, it's like a big screen live action Dark Beginnings at times. And I love that.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the high points of the movie for me. I was like, oh, that's just incredibly sweet.
I also love
until
how
obvious things happened.
Yeah, I also loved how with Maria we got to see more of her interests as like a child of the 70s. Being able
playing
to
the guitar and
playing guitar. You see the vinyl everywhere and the kind of roller. I thought, the roller skates part I thought was going to be a little bit more important. I'm going to be honest, because I thought us seeing Maria on roller skates, I thought she was going to teach Shadow.
Would transition into.
I thought she was going to teach Shadow how to roller skate, and I was like,
I don't mind that though. I don't know.
That would have been perfect.
It's so Disney though, isn't it? It's like, hey,
no, but that's the point.
Are you flying solo?
That's the point.
Maybe you should be Han Solo. Hey, you roller skate, dude.
I
really thought because it's kind of weird because Shadow has always been an alien in this movie, not just infused with alien DNA. He just kind of came into the world as an alien.
Just because all of them are aliens, and I guess makes sense.
Yeah, but I'm also wondering where his shoes came from and stuff like that. DNA.
But Twilord will be very happy because I don't think they've ruled out a Black Doom thing in the future, especially because
he arrives in a meteor.
Exactly, he arrives in a meteor that strongly resembles the Black Comet in terms of its shape. And also, they didn't say where that meteor came from or anything like that.
That's true.
So he could still be related to the Black Comet. Or, there's also the fact that in the storyboards for Knuckles, the Buyer was referred to as the Black Arms, and they nixed that, and it's like, they might have nixed that for a reason. So I think if you are hoping to see a bit more of that alien DNA story, the Black Doom story, I think it's totally possible.
They're leaving the door open.
So
it can happen.
The point I wanted to get at was, where did Shadow's shoes come from? If it wasn't inspired by something on Earth.
Space.
Was he just born with the shoes on?
That's what he met the ancestor of JoJo who gave him the shoes.
Like that
actually does bring up a good question. Is like, where did the shoes come from, and how did he know he could use them?
Well,
and the inhibitor rings.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Like they don't go into like Shadow's tech.
There's a suspension of disbelief.
They could do that later. Like they could maybe do another like in the next Shadow project. There could be like a bit where it's like my inhibitor rings, and then he has like a little flashback to him bowling, and then like Wade's ancestor gives him the rings, and he's just like, dude, you're bowling too hard. Your bowling is too gnarly. You got to wear these rings, dude. And then the shoes.
I'm glad he used them.
would you like to go to this wedding, Shadow? That's all we do. Just
Shadow,
wedding.
You want to get married?
Yeah,
this is Natasha Rothwell's ancestor from 50 years ago. She's gonna marry you, Shadow, but it's a sham. Don't worry about it.
I was gonna say this is gonna turn into like Shadow going to a concert, and it's just him trying to get there, but people are just stopping him.
You know, another thing I think is oddly kind of tragic though, is that Commander Walters, right? He tried to save Maria, and he gets iced by Gerald. Like, there's no going back from that, because Gerald considers him complicit and has him killed. And, like, Shadow doesn't get that peace with the gun commander that he does with Abraham Tower. So, like, this version of the gun commander, he didn't get to have that moment of clarity with Shadow. He didn't get to talk things out. He died, and it kind of shows the kind of stuff that was at stake with what was going on with Gerald in it. And I gotta say, I really do like this Gerald. Like, I know
he just wanted to watch the world fucking burn.
I know people have said he's very different to the game Gerald, but in some ways he lines up in that, like, the point where he goes fucking nuts is when Maria dies, and he builds kind of the arc as kind of an act of, well, not the arc, the Eclipse canon, as like an act of revenge on the world after what happened to Maria. That's all accurate. It's basically the only real change here is, what if Gerald Robotnik survived, basically, and didn't get shot by a firing squad? And was, the Jim Carrey coded version of the character, because I still think even if Gerald survived, he'd be a bit more Pollock coded. But, hey.
Yeah.
At least this... No.
Okay, there we go.
Please, all right. We're going to need this.
I was just Eclipse cannons, genocides, I was just thinking...
The core motivation remains the same.
Settle down.
So I wanted to get to this point as well, where like I am perfectly fine with how Jim Carrey like acted in this movie. Most of everything was hilarious that he did. I do think after we saw the flashback with Gerald and Maria and Shadow and all that stuff, I feel like that's when the switch should have been flipped for Gerald in particular. Like the hamminess should have been like kind of like thrown out the window at that point. And it should have been like, no, like this is serious business. Like, because in the final act of the movie, we get some cool moments with some awesome like iconography, with some awesome shots. The music's on point. Finally, the music's on point.
It took them 3 movies. That about a fucking Sonic movie.
And literally, I remember having like I thought I was like losing my mind, because I remember debating with people like, because I'm like, they gotta add more video game music in these movies. Like, I feel like it's a no-brainer. I feel like it's a no-brainer. And everyone kept arguing with me, like, no, it wouldn't fit because of X, Y, Z.
Stupid. There's no.
And
two
I'm
ways
sitting
about
here,
it. Dumb.
I'm just sitting here, like, look, I'm not trying to like fluff myself up, but like, this is part of what I do as a profession, is to like fit music into scenes and stuff like that. Like, you can make it work. Like, you can absolutely make. You can make it work.
People are like, oh, it couldn't work. It's like, tell me you've never done music editing in your life. Like, not to mention,
or just don't know how motifs work or anything like that. Yeah,
that argument became 1,000 times more absurd after the Super Mario Brothers movie came out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can do it. But also, like, the thing is, like, dreams come true. What was the guy's name? Well, anyway, like when he was composing for Sonic 2, he went out of his way to compose it like it was a movie.
Yes, like it was a movie.
Had a cinematic quality. Sonic Adventure 2 with the escape from the city bit, it's like the kind of musical montage you'd expect opening credits to play over. Like, these things have always been treated as cinematic. And like, so to say Sonic music couldn't work in a cinematic medium is asinine, because it was always cinematic. Now, to be fair, I did say that back in the day. and it was asinine.
Yeah.
So if you're calling me out for being a hypocrite, saying that that's asinine when I literally said the same thing back in the day, it was asinine when I did it. So it's asinine when everybody does it. But
people can change, you know. But
people change. I'm not a fucking idiot anymore. I remember back then I didn't like 2000's Amy. Now I fucking love the Pink Scribbler.
Saying you're not an idiot anymore might be going a little far.
I'm a different genre of idiot.
You're improving a little by little. I'll give you
I'm
that.
not that kind of idiot. My opinion on that has improved. My opinion on something else has declined.
If you want our honest opinion.
But
okay, go on, Frank. Go on.
No,
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, go on, Frank. No, go spit it out, coward.
It's fine. Yeah, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Say what you're gonna
We're all
say.
friends here.
You don't want to be a pussy, do you?
Really? We're going there now, huh?
You don't be a big pussy.
I mean, anyways, let's just back to the topic at hand. There's a scene that I thought wasn't going to be executed well, and because even though I avoided spoilers like the plague, I had an inkling, like a feeling. It wasn't spoiled, but I was like, they're definitely going to do the like no food in movies, I'm out of here line.
Yes.
You know, I was, and then whenever it happened, I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what that's how you do it. Like,
I was a little disappointed by that. It wasn't so much for them doing it. It was just like, wow, why does Sonic sound incredibly unnatural here?
I think it only sounds unnatural because we have heard Ryan Drummond's inflection of that line for decades, and we are used to that. But I was so giddy. It's definitely
also Sonic says it like it's a reference to something. And to be fair,
it's like a wink.
Fair enough.
But I think it's okay. I think that's good. Like,
yeah,
I would have preferred if it was just a little more natural and be like, okay, all right.
Cool. I see it as kind of in the same camp as like the bit where the Robotniks are like, it's almost like we're two characters in a movie portrayed by the same actor, and then they look at the camera. I think there are some wink, wink, nudge, nudge things with these Sonic movies, which I think add a lot of charm and character to these things. You know, I like it when they're getting a little silly with it. But I mean, you wouldn't want too much of that. But so that opening there, because I tend to think comparing this to SA2. It's hard to top, skateboarding down San Francisco. But it's true. You know what? The three dudes gracefully skydiving Power Rangers style, set to Neon by One OK Rock, landing and immediately going into the first fight with Shadow in Tokyo. I was like, this is actually a good substitute.
Oh, for sure.
That's how you do it.
Plus, you get some micro references, Tails. They go into the fly formation from Heroes as they go down. I thought that was cute too, and I was like, you know what? These guys know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
And then just the way the music cuts as well, because, I think needle drops are very overused in Hollywood movies these days, but this one was just right with Neon playing, and then it ends on the final part of the chorus as you see the boys stand up to the camera, and it's like, that is awesome. That is so fucking... Another instance of that was, I can't remember what the song was, but it's when Robotnik is rising up in London on that little elevator thing, and it's got it's got some trap music playing, and I was just like, that's fucking hard. That is hard as fuck. I love that kind of shit.
There's some moments in this movie that do feel and it's it's a good thing, but also I can understand why a normal moviegoer would be a little bit put off by it. There's some moments which do feel kind of not fan dubby, but almost like they were those edits of old movie one scenes where they spliced in open your heart at the climax of the film. That's kind of how the live and learn motif kind of felt for me at some points, where they but it was good. It was good. But I could imagine a normal moviegoer being a little confused because we hear that motif at multiple points. Because they keep cutting back.
If a normal moviegoer doesn't
for normies,
if a normie saw that and didn't go, "That's fucking awesome," I would immediately suspect that they're a little girl.
Well, I mean,
so that's interesting because I did go I went with my family, so me, my son, my daughter, and my wife, and me and my son are much more invested in the games than my wife or my daughter.
Sure, man.
And there were certainly moments during that film that me and him reacted to, that the girls didn't. And there was stuff in the car on the way home that we ended up explaining to them, like, no, this is awesome because...
I just think, so if we take live and learn out of the equation, I just think it's awesome that you've got the most awesome electric guitar riff you've ever heard playing while these two hedgehogs go Super Saiyan.
No,
it's
and that's the thing.
Awesome.
Is that what I'm saying is that you gotta give to the fans. You can't always cater towards the
you gotta have some
crowd.
fan service
General
in there.
public.
Because
you gotta have fan service, yeah.
there's a reason why we became fans in the first place. There are people that had never played a Sonic game before that loaded up Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast and saw these two hedgehogs go Super Saiyan set to live and learn for the first time. And you know what they all said? They said, that's fucking awesome. And now a whole new generation gets to do that with Sonic 3. And I think that goes hard.
No, they said, why have my parents bought me a dead console?
Wrong generation.
Hey,
Wrong generation. Get out of here.
Okay?
Get him out of here.
Growing up.
But even if it's not that, there's going to be people that had never played a Sonic game before that sat down to play Sonic Frontiers and fought against Giganto and went, that's fucking awesome as soon as the most out-of-pocket death metalcore music came on. Like,
wait,
that's the thing, is Sonic...
Past the controls.
Hold on.
Shut the fuck up, Frank.
Hold on.
Eat my ass, pup.
Is that how you pronounce Gigantor?
Giganto.
Giganto. It's like a luchador or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. It threw me off for a second. I didn't.
Where's his mask, huh?
I was assuming that was
without a
just
mask.
Pup being Pup.
I wasn't familiar with your
Giganto,
game, yeah.
Wyvern, Knight,
Okay.
and
Okay,
Supreme.
he's just taking the piss.
It is Pup being Pup. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's his mask?
And
What,
Su-
did
and
he lose the mask
Supreme.
versus mask match?
Yeah. But anyways,
And who could forget the Eend?
the Tahend. Tahend. But God, we're fucking.
I just think of like a giant bottle of tahini now.
Yeah. But
If you know, then you know.
The point I'm saying
over-
is, there comes a point, all right? There comes a point where, okay, so, you know that I try to pride myself on being a little level-headed with criticisms and stuff. You know that in my own videos, anyway, when I'm not being conversational.
yeah. You've
There
gotten
comes
a lot
a
better,
point-
for sure.
Before.
But there does come a point where it's like, if a normie is complaining about live and learn, all I can say is, shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
Yeah,
Just
in
get
my
the fuck out.
opinion,
No.
thankfully there's been no one. Here's the thing. This is the reason why I wanted the video game music to be in the movies, is because the general audience really wouldn't care. They probably wouldn't get it. They probably
General
wouldn't
audience would be
feel-
like, God damn, this music's good. That's all they'd be like, you know?
They probably wouldn't feel the same impact that we do, right? But they wouldn't
but
care, right?
I like to think there's probably someone out there that's like, hey, dude, I just saw the Sonic 3 movie. That movie has the best final battle music I've ever fucking heard. And it's like, that's how it should be, man. That is...
Yeah, that's how it
You
should
know
be.
what? There is something that I did want to bring up. I went to go see it with my brothers, and one, it actually got him to start playing Sonic Adventure 2. Not sure how that's gonna go.
Oh no.
He's having
It's gonna go excellently.
No, no.
kind of so with the camera, but I think he's still having a good time. The other thing is that because you're dealing with two characters that are really fast, the movie did a great job of not just doing slow-mo shots all the time
Yes!
and really
Yeah.
showing how
Yes,
fast these
agreed.
characters are as they fight.
Yeah.
across
Sonic
the world.
1, like, obviously that movie...
So fucking cool.
Sonic 1 has all the confidence of me as a person. But, yeah, it was because they were relying constantly on the tried and tested Quicksilver bullet time technique. I'm so
Right.
happy to see how far they've moved away from that to now really committing to these high-speed set pieces.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
I,
so happy about
yeah.
that.
I loved the Superman punch with the
Yes!
supersonic fight,
Yes!
where
That was
you
cool.
punch it across a continent and he flies towards him, punches him again.
So
I'm like,
I
that's
gotta-
a cool shot, no
I
matter
gotta-
what.
I gotta bring up the old chestnut, the old drinking game, right? I had flashbacks to Man of Steel in that bit, and I was like,
Oh, for sure.
You know,
I was like,
like,
so
It's-
he's gonna snap
it's
the
so
other person's
good.
neck.
it was
it's
so
so
fucking
good.
And then you see the world landmarks in the background, like the pyramids, showing you just how far they've punched each other. And then he punches him to the. It's so fucking manly, dude.
And then you get
It's
the shot
so
of like the
cool.
globe, and you just see the two You just see them like
Just the
bouncing off each
lines
other.
just
It's like,
going. Yeah. Oh, it's.
It
Sorry.
felt like I was watching like if Dragon Ball Evolution had actually been good.
Yeah, fair, valid.
So Man of Steel.
Very-
in
that one.
case.
Yeah. I
Minus the
No,
neck
I said
snapping.
good.
All right.
Okay, Man of Steel is not
okay,
bad.
so you're officially a girl. Okay, I've decided.
Oh my god, a girl.
Shut up, pup.
It's good
Um,
because it's manly.
Shut the fuck up.
I like. I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of love put. I also love the BioLizard reference as like
Yes.
Godzilla. I thought that was so
Yes.
cute. Yeah,
That was
so
such
cute.
a nice way of getting him in there. And I gotta say, as much as I've kind of complained about kind of how everything has to be rooted in reality, some of the
Right.
creative ways they've gotten around some of these concepts, I do really appreciate. Like,
I agree.
I love how, and I can't believe I'm starting with this, but I love how we had Iblis as a big
I
theater
hate
puppet.
that you brought this up.
I love how we had
already-
Iblis as
I
a big
knew where-
theater
I
puppet.
knew where the
I
fuck
love
this
that
was
we
going.
got. I love that we got BioLizard as Beware the Alien Freak, which is so on the nose.
It's so.
I
it's
read
so
the title. I'm
funny.
like, oh no.
And I love that we got Mascot Chow. I love that these
Yeah.
are not just straight up
I
adaptations,
want a real
but that
Chow
they've
Garden.
done really creative things to make these work. Like that's in some ways better than just seeing it as it was presented in the games. And it's the best
Yeah.
of both worlds because this year or last year we got a high fidelity ass BioLizard in
Yep.
Shadow Generations. Now we get to appreciate him as a little black and white B-movie monster.
As yeah, it's just
Beware
a little
the
guy.
alien freak. Ah,
He's as
it's
big as
so
a battleship.
funny.
I also think it's funny because the dynamic between the BioLizard and Shadow practically didn't change between the game and the movie because it's like movie
It's still
Shadow
like
was
a
like
reminder of like who he
it's
really.
yeah of like what he could be, like am I this freak, you know?
And the fact they even added like the little life support thing on him and
Yes, they just
the
yes,
little tubes in his eyes. It's so
it's so-
funny.
it's so cute.
So I actually missed that that little reference only because I saw the title and the first thing I thought, oh no, Shadow.
Yeah, no, like
I completely ignored
Yeah, no,
everything
the
else, and I was
monster-
just waiting for his reaction.
The alien freak is literally the BioLizard. It's so well
It's-
done. Like
I
it,
know,
it
but
really
like,
is. Yeah.
I saw the title and I was just waiting for Shadow's reaction. I'm like, no.
But also, speaking
Yeah.
of these kind of adaptations and stuff, it got me thinking. You know, I actually think the best way to introduce cream and cheese. Have
What's up?
cream, but have her inexplicably have one of those Chow mascots as a pet, and it is just the guy in the mascot suit. Never
Or,
takes
like,
off the
kinda
mask.
bad.
We don't even know if there's a human under there, but she just has this. He's just with her at all times.
That would be funny. That does bring an interesting question as to whether or not some concepts are even going to be touched on in the future. Like with chaos and stuff like that.
That's
I doubt
the
it
thing.
at this
Is
point.
like there's a certain
Like-
line that has to be drawn. Though I think chaos is still on the card, but I think,
think
there
so.
are
I think they
certain.
could do it.
I think making BioLizard a puppet, you're okay. Making Iblis a puppet, we can still work with this. You make Black Doom a puppet or Chaos a puppet, and you've gone a bit too-
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I would like
kinda
to see a proper Eldritch God just fucking turn
I-
up.
yeah,
I
I
just,
can live without
like-
BioLizard. I didn't think I
like-
was getting BioLizard.
No, I didn't think
Yeah,
so
we don't-
either.
We
I
don't
thought
need another
yeah.
family reunion.
I thought the reference was just very cute. I thought the way that they did it, like how it was executed in that old style, was like top notch. Like
And the big finale
yeah.
as well of like the two hedgehogs trying to like destroy the Eclipse cannon effectively or trying to stop it being the
Yeah.
big ending. I thought that was really fitting because like this time the arc isn't even like a space colony thing. It is just literally, and that's all it is.
yeah,
Yep.
And I love how like you see the gun sentinels coming out of it and Sonic and Shadow fight them and it's like the coolest, most fucking manly thing you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, it's so
I was
fucking
obsessed with
epic.
this whole manly thing.
It's just
Yeah.
it's a testosterone fueled sequence is all I can say.
it
Like-
is probably one of the coolest sequences that Sonic has had. I mean, to be fair, this past year has been nothing but just proving to the masses that Sonic is cool, not just ironically so, you know?
And
I-
that this
and I know
stuff always works. Like there's a reason why
This
this
year,
stuff
this
hit.
year only.
Like you can,
Yeah.
No, you can look back on like SA2 and be like, it's a little janky and stuff. But I think this year has successfully demonstrated why these things resonated. And they've elevated it. Like I love SA2 as it is. Like I obviously adore that game. But like I think this year has only furthered my love for Sonic Adventure 2 with new projects that have, you know, been born of that and have lived up to it. Like I'm amazed I can successfully say Sonic 3 lives up to Sonic Adventure 2. It lives up to the source material. Listen, I love Sonic 2. I don't think it stacks up to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like, because with Sonic 3 and Knuckles,
don't let the
you've
Sonic
got
2 fans hear you say that.
You've got Angel Island, you've got the Death Egg, and that stuff is all ripe for cinema. Like, that would all be. But they didn't do it, and I understand why.
Right.
Obviously, these movies are budgeted, and we weren't in that post-Frontiers world where now everything Sonic does is awesome. Like, it's still in that kind of, like, this franchise could go either way kind of
we were in the
situation.
middle of, because I want to say, like, because when did the final DLC for Frontiers come out? Like the Final Horizon DLC?
That would have been November 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was like, so Frontiers came out, but we were still in the middle of like getting like the free DLC and stuff like that. And Frontiers, even though it was received well and sold well initially, I feel like only garnered the reputation that it has now after all the DLC came out.
Yeah, there was
if
so
that
many.
makes sense.
There's a number of things though here. Like, there's a number of factors. Like, between when Sonic 1 and 2 came out, the last mainline Sonic game we had was Sonic 4. So there wasn't really a lot of confidence they could draw from the source material. They had to kind of build this up from ground zero, effectively.
Right.
And then
whereas-
then it's not like after Sonic 1 things got better. We got Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Yeah.
Then
But
we
like
got Sonic Origins. People
Sonic,
like it. Some
Sonic
people don't.
Origins, looking back, is not. The situation was worse than but like, beside the point,
Yeah,
though,
agreed.
like, I think we're at a point now where the Sonic franchise is just bursting with confidence, and I think we need to carry that forward. I don't want to see us going back to copying Mario or Zelda or anything like that. But like Shadow Generations, a Sonic game has never been so unapologetic to be like, here's all that stuff everyone made fun of, but you're not going to be laughing now. And Sonic 3 did that too. And it's like, if this is what we're in for the future of Sonic, I'm willing to kick back and trust the process a little. You know? Because in lead up to Sonic 3, you guys know that I've been a little panicked about. And the Knuckles show didn't help. But like,
Right.
after Sonic 3, there is... Because every time Jeff Fowler's like, we're going all in with this one, I was like, a little skeptical. It's still going to be a Sonic movie and stuff. It's still going to have this stuff. Can they make that work for me? And Sonic 3 kind of answered that and said, yeah, we can. There are still things I'm hoping to see, and there are still things that I hope to see in Sonic 3 that I didn't get. One of those things, obviously I talked at length about how much I really would have loved Amy to be in this movie. But you know what? I'm going to eat some humble pie, and everyone that said that you couldn't fit Amy into this story, you were dead on. You were right. Everyone was right. I was wrong about that. Yeah, Amy put into this story wouldn't have been able to do Amy justice, because she's not really a part of this story here. So
It had too many moving parts.
Yeah,
Everybody
it did.
clip it.
It had even more moving parts on like a thematic and character level than the game it was based on. These Sonic movies have always done a good job with the characterization and the dynamics between these characters and how they play off of each other, and movie 3 only improves on it from there. And I mean, I do still think, you know, optically it's a bit weird it took us this long to get a girl hedgehog, but we're there now. We're going there, and she's going to be the big draw of the next one. Like,
So
that's crazy.
And she gets introduced by taking out multiple metals.
Yeah, she's
that
she's
is
awesome.
interesting. I did want to touch on that because two things. And I guess we can go into the post-credit stuff. So really, if you guys haven't seen the movie or seen the post-credit stuff, sorry for spoiling it, but
I mean, it's in the title.
yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
fair.
I got spoiled on that specific scene pretty early. Like, I think a day before
No,
I actually see the movie.
Trey, your mic. Wiggle the
Trey.
jack.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello. But what I was saying is that I am thankful that I didn't get spoiled on that, because I always thought that Metal and Amy should have been the ones to front run the third movie, and then we could go to the fourth movie. That way we could introduce Amy to be more important to Shadow later on and all that other BS and all that stuff. But regardless, we have them here now, and I am very interested as to how they're going to pull this off without an Eggman.
Well, before
Because
we
in my
have an
opinion,
idea.
is it okay if we just quickly put that on pause? Because I do still want to kind of go
Sure,
into
sure.
again, like
Yeah.
the Amy not redeeming Shadow thing was something I didn't know if I'd be okay with, depending on enough factors. It wasn't JoJo though, you motherfuckers. She wasn't even in the movie. Take
Oh,
that,
that's right.
idiots.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a human character either. It was kind of Sonic, but it was also the view of the stars and this really poignant little. It was just so good. I was like, you know what? That's on a writing level, that's even better. Obviously, I love Amy doing it. It's a defining moment for this character that means a lot to me now. But like, just this was so well done. This did great things for Sonic and Shadow. Shadow kind of coming to that conclusion on his own a little bit too. It's one of those things where I adore SA2, but it is true that if Shadow shed a tear and went, I have to keep my promise to Maria and you, it would have been laughed out of the auditorium on like a general writing level. Part of the reason I love Sonic Adventure 2 is because of that kind of goofy, barely translated nature of it, you know? And boy, would I love a movie like that. But at the same time, like, I really appreciate if they can do the whole, we're shying away from that because we are wanting to preserve the quality. And if they can get the quality as good as they have with 3, then there's no complaints from me. Like, by all means, do what you gotta do. And, you know, I didn't know if Amy would ever be the big post-credits draw, because it's like, well, obviously Tails was like the first step. Like, literally seeing any gasp of Sonic after Sonic Movie 1 was going to be exciting. But then it's like 2 stepped up so big with Shadow, because he's like this big hype beast character. So I was like, okay, so Sonic 3 is going to need something on that level. And it's like, you really consider Amy to be that? And I was like, fair fucking play. Admittedly, you got Metal Sonic 2. But like, fair fucking
it wasn't
play.
it wasn't just Amy.
I know, but like, Amy's where
look,
you end with.
I'm just saying, Metal and Amy are more marketable than Shadow. You know what? I was right.
The one downside.
Never,
just,
after this
I am
year,
never
don't fucking
talking
know.
about what is and isn't marketable ever again, because all it is, I find all it is a chance for Sonic fans to pretend that Sonic is niche. Like,
Fair.
the only downside I had, you were talking about the shadow scene on the moon a moment ago, and just to take us back there a moment. Even my 12 and 10-year-old, we came out of that theater and they would even they said, isn't that just a repeat of the scene we had on the beach with Knuckles? And it's like, yeah, it kind of is.
There were a few things that were repeated from the last movie. That was one of them.
Yeah.
The other one, Tom giving the big old lesson that Sonic's going to be telling someone.
and then, I mean, that's something that did get me thinking. The thing is, one of the areas that does make me not, I guess, fearful, but a little apprehensive about Sonic the Hedgehog 4 and I guess beyond is, like, the next one isn't going to be a redemption story. And I love a redemption story. Redemption stories are so uplifting. And it's like, we had that with Knuckles, and we did have that with Shadow, and yeah, it does repeat a few beats and stuff, but I think it's unavoidable. Like, Shadow was ultimately kind of a modern Knuckles in a way anyway. He kind of, like, everything Shadow did, Knuckles kind of did first. Like, even in the game. Bringing lore to
Knuckles was
franchise.
Piccolo, Shadow's Vegeta.
Sure, but what I mean is, like, it's a simple thing, Sonic, until Knuckles comes along and he brings lore and history and world building to it, and he starts off as a rival and becomes a pal by the end. And Shadow is the same. He does that the second time. It's just Shadow, I guess, expanded on it a bit more, which is why he's left that impression. Also, just want to quickly note, I adore how Sonic and Shadow interacted with each other in the third act. Like, all this time I've been kind of saying I want Sonic and Shadow to be a bit more friendly. The way they interacted after making their peace was, in my opinion, perfect. Like, making little jokes at each other's expenses here and there, but, like, they ultimately have a bit of camaraderie among the two hedgehogs, and they're clearly enjoying each other's company a little bit. Like, I like that. That's got heart. Like, hell yeah.
That's the dynamic I want to see for those two going forward. Not just in the movies, but like in the games and other media as well.
I do agree, but if the games continue on the path that they kind of have with Shadow, I'm okay with, like, it being like Sonic is the only one Shadow fucking can't stand. Everyone else he's fine with. Trey, wiggle the jack again.
Hello.
There you go. You go.
Testing 1 2. I mean, there is a running joke that Shadow just hates Tails now. I don't know where that came from, but like I
Because he
think
always
it's funny.
beats him up. Like if you look at like
He
Sonic
just
X,
always beats the shit out
all
of
media.
if
It's
you
so
look like
funny.
Sonic X, like he really had a thing for Tails.
He
And then
really hates Tails.
There was the
Was it like
Tails
Sonic
tube
Boom as well.
There was the yeah, Sonic Boom. There was the Tails tube recently where Tails is like, hi, and Shadow's
That's
like,
right.
bye. Like, but personally, if it's up to me, I would like it to be that Shadow. Okay, so in the games, this is. In the movies, I think we're in the right place. But in the games, I would like it to be that Shadow can get along with Tails, he gets along with Amy, he can get along with Knuckles, the guys barely exchange words, but there's a fondness there. But Sonic is like, he would happily show up to any function that has the rest of them, but Sonic, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that. There's no like explained reason why he doesn't like Tails. I think it's funny.
He just takes issue with him. Also, another thing
Yeah.
I want
He
to
just
point
has
out
a
is
problem with him. No reason at all. Just doesn't like him.
it's interesting because I in the past kind of said I don't know if I could buy a Jim Carrey Robotnik redemption because like part of the whole first movie was he's very devoid of humanity and empathy, and in the second one he is even more callous because of how he treats Knuckles. I was like,
Right.
this Robotnik struck me as even more kind of pure evil than game Robotnik typically does, give or take a metal vibe. But here I actually bought it when he did kind of turn things around a little bit, partly because, you know, obviously he's got his own interests, he doesn't want to, and he wants to rule the world. But like also when he was interacting with Tails and Knuckles in the third act and they were steering the ship together, I loved that. And how Tails
I did, yeah.
how Tails like refers to him as Doctor and stuff like that, and that there's a clear respect between Tails and Robotnik in that third act. I was like, that's amazing, and obviously we can't get much of that, but I've always loved in the games that there is a fondness between Tails and Dr. Robotnik, that Robotnik respects Tails and openly will acknowledge Tails as like a worthy rival, whereas like he won't admit to respecting Sonic, give or take a Frontiers, but like he, you know, Sonic's a bitch as far as he's concerned, but Tails is actually kind of alright. You know, if circumstances were different, Tails could maybe be his son. That's the best way I could possibly word that. We got a bit of that with Agent Stone as well. Like, I love that Agent Stone actually got along quite well with Tails until he got washed.
It's one of those things where I think he can see Tails as a fellow genius and he can respect that, if nothing else.
Yeah, he can relate to him.
I think that's what it is.
And also just seeing like Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik just working together was just cool. It was just... Also, I gotta quickly give a shout out to Rad Red, the fucking legendary Echidna Guardian of the Master Emerald, because he's an MVP in this fucking movie. I've been thinking, like, Knuckles on his 30th year was disrespected. Okay, like, you had the Knuckles series, you had the Lara Sue Chronicles, and I haven't read the IDW 30th Anniversary special, but I've been told it's a bit more focused on Trip, so it still doesn't really honor Knuckles in the way you'd want. But in this movie, I love the initial confrontation between him and Sonic. Knuckles is in the right there as well. And
he is.
And then in the finale, he saves Tails and Sonic. He's the one that goes down, rescues them, and uses the ring. He is the savior of Team Sonic.
Yeah, I was going to say the characterization, especially with Tails and Knuckles in this movie, was like the best it's ever been. Like their dynamic as a team felt more organic than ever, in my opinion, even than in most of the game dynamics. Like I kind of just want,
I
was just gonna say, like, even with, like, even taking like the differences between movie canon and game canon, I would love for game canon to adopt some of, like, a good bit of the characterization from this movie in particular in terms of their dynamic.
It would
definitely.
And
like,
push that forward.
You can really buy that these boys are friends, and it was something I said in my review of it as well. Is like, in the games, it's usually Sonic and Tails and Knuckles might come along. In this, you know, Team Sonic is the main protagonist of the movie, and what I adore about this is we've got this SA2 adaptation. We got a Sonic Adventure remake. How crazy is that? But like, we've got that. You've got the Eclipse canon. You've got Shadow. And I'm coming away from this movie going, Knuckles was a standout. Holy fuck. He got there in the end, and
Yeah.
it wasn't even in his own project. But Knuckles, you got there in the end. You got a little bit of respect after all, and that makes me so happy.
It's so obvious when Tyson Hesse is on a project with these movies and when
It
he
really
isn't,
is now. Like,
because he
Yeah.
wasn't in the Knuckles show. He wasn't there for that. And I said it on my Twitter account, and Jeff Fowler or whoever was responsible for it, whoever hired Tyson Hesse to help out with these movies.
I believe it was Jeff
that
Fowler.
that was the smartest decision anyone could have made ever in the history of forever across the board.
Not the most obvious decision
Not-
in the
not
world, but one
really,
of the
no,
best
like-
decisions. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also, like, I believe, I can't remember where I read this, but I think it was Tyson Hesse that, so Jeff Fowler was always going to use Live and Learn in this movie because he believes that, Shadow and that song are interlinked. But it was Tyson Hesse, I read somewhere, that was pushing for more of the music to be in the score, pushing for them to be a bit more hands-on with Tom Holkenberg in getting more game cues into this movie. And it's like, if that's the case, my hat is absolutely off to Tyson Hesse, because this soundtrack kind of fucks. Like, it's still not...
Yeah.
It's still not going as far as I'd like it to. I would love it if we could get kind of a Daniel Pemberton Spider-Verse style for the instrumentation and have that as the norm rather than the orchestral. But I squealed a bit when I heard City Escape over the gun infiltration scene. Hearing just the level complete jingle at the end of the birthday race, that was the point where I was like, okay, they're serious this time. One thing I did not anticipate, and I am so over the moon we got, was the last scene. The track, The Last Scene from Sonic Adventure 2, which plays over, like, the last scene, go figure. That they incorporated that into the scene where they're back on Earth reflecting on everything. I was like, really? We're going this far with it? This is insane. Like, also the 068 Man theme's in there for the Ark. That was really cool.
It's, I think Tyson, and again, I'm only really going off of, like, what I heard through, like, Sam Procrastinate's, like, a spoiler, like, filled, like, review with Games Cage and Shao Mix, I believe. But, like, it was a thing where Tyson worked closely with Junkie XL to make sure that these that these music motifs were, like, brought to life in the best way that they could possibly be. And I'm just glad that Junkie XL was like, yeah, let's just go for it, like,
Tyson
didn't, like, shy
Hesse,
away
man,
from it.
Started out making comics about fucking Nipples the Echidna. And now he's here steering the ship of the Sonic movies in such a meaningful way. My hat is fucking off to Tyson Hesse.
It's
admirable. Legend.
Yeah. Again, I don't, like, it's not just Tyson Hesse that's been fixing.
Obviously
or not, fixing,
but, like, the fact that
you
his journey as a creative and his journey within the Sonic franchise is profound respect for Tyson Hesse, man. Like, that is all. I wish I had met him at that Sonic Revolution that time. Like, I would shake that guy's hand.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what an absolute legend.
I'm wondering if he is even going to, like, conventions, like, just on his own. He's probably so busy nowadays. He probably just, like, only goes if he's, like, doing, like, a panel for, like, industry stuff nowadays.
The thing I'll also say, though,
I couldn't imagine him just going to, like, random conventions now.
The thing I'll say, though, on the note of the music, though, is come Sonic 4, like, obviously, Sonic 4, we don't know if it's based on one specific game the way this one was. Sonic 3's relationship with Sonic Adventure 2 is very symbiotic, whereas we can see that they're probably doing something a bit more original with Sonic 4, with, like, multiple Metal Sonics and that. Like, obviously, there's going to be elements of Sonic CD in there, having Amy and Metal there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say, even if we're not basing it directly on a game this time, we cannot go back to what we had with the soundtracks before. Like,
no.
I want to hear
can't.
cues from maybe Sonic CD, maybe Sonic Heroes, or just any Sonic
CD, yeah.
Any Sonic stuff you can pull from, get it in there. Because, like, again, like, yes, we've done Shadow, we did Live and Learn for Shadow, and Live and Learn is obviously the most iconic Sonic vocal track of all time, and Sonic Adventure 2 is probably one of the most iconic Sonic stories ever told, so you have to have those two. I'm gonna say this, you're not off the hook, you still probably gotta get, like, What I'm Made Of in there or something. Like, if you could get that in there...
I feel like they will go there at some point. What I was gonna say about the... I wanted to say this about the Sonic CD thing. It was like, if you want to go a little above and beyond, just because it's stupid and it'll probably waste money, share a couple tracks between like the English and the Japanese release, and then have some of it
yeah.
where it's like completely different.
Excuse Frank. Frank, don't associate your little soundtrack with us, okay? The English got the Japanese soundtrack, okay? So
I don't care.
You keep your American
You got 50
soundtrack.
hertz, whatever.
The US soundtrack of CD and
It
everywhere
still
else, I
fucks.
guess.
The US soundtrack still fucks, but
it's
the Japanese one
I
is
hold
better,
by
in my opinion.
It's the Japanese one is definitely better in a lot of aspects. I think the USA one is a lot more atmospheric in a lot of areas, which I think would translate to a movie context maybe a little bit better than the bouncier tracks. So they definitely could do both.
The Japanese one just fucks. Like
it does fuck. Yeah. But I will say
it fucks a little more softly.
The Metal Sonic boss fight music and the US version, I do like that a little bit better.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this.
Better.
I do think the Metal Sonic boss fight music for the Japanese one is a little overused, and it doesn't really say anything about Metal. Like it is just Stardust Speedway, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And like
exactly.
Another thing I was gonna say is, and part of the reasons I guess I'm not trepidatious. I'm not concerned. I think they're gonna do an amazing. But one of the reasons I guess I'm like, ooh, about Sonic 4 is, okay, so we established it's not going to have a redemption angle. Well, probably not anyway. Like, I doubt they're going to try and redeem Metal Sonic. So you're going to kind of have a more simple good versus evil story, probably. But also, Metal Sonic, kind of lame in my opinion. Like, hot take. Okay, I love
fuck no.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Webster, let's kill this guy.
No, hear me out. Hear me out, okay? Don't shoot me just yet.
Come on, Webster.
Metal Sonic mid as fuck.
Let's kill this guy.
No, hear me out. He hasn't been cool for a very long time. He was cool in Sonic CD. He was cool in Sonic OVA. He was surprisingly very cool in Sonic 4 Episode 2, actually. But other than that, what about
Heroes? What about Heroes?
Yeah, because you don't get to fight him in his Metal Sonic form. Like, if I wanted to fight a Godzilla, just get another God of Destruction.
That's semantics.
You know what, Pup? Yeah, okay, yeah, Pup. No, you're done here.
I think
that's like saying you don't get to fight. Oh, okay.
I think, look, Heroes is a game. You've got Metal Sonic in the game, but I don't get to fight him as a rival to Sonic. I feel like that defeats the purpose. But on a narrative level, yeah, he's alright in Heroes. Neo Metal Sonic's alright, and I think there's potential for Neo Metal Sonic. But hear me the fuck out.
Just bad at Sonic Heroes.
Please hear me out for a second. Just let me fucking speak.
Why? You may as well have just insulted my mother.
Shut up. Over the past 10 years or so. Over the past 10 years or so, it's been Metal Sonic comes up. It's probably in Stardust Speedway. Music goes here, 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 and then he gets bumped off, and that's it. Like, I want to see Metal Sonic as an actual threat here. I want to see him do cool shit. And I think
everyone does.
Hang on. I think we're going to do that. Especially given the fact that we're leaning into the Metallics angle of like Fleetway and stuff. And Webster, I'm actually really glad you're on this episode because I immediately thought of you as soon as I saw multiple Metal Sonics in red color schemes. I was like, oh my god, Fleetway. Webster's gonna be thrilled.
You messaged me afterwards like, I can't give you spoilers, there's an embargo, but there is a scene that's made for you.
Yeah. But the point I was overall making is like, yeah, I don't think Metal Sonic, to me, the hype factor is there in the same way that it is with Shadow. However, it's there purely on the basis that after credit scene was really cool. Metal Sonic made a hell of an impression.
Yeah.
But there's like, if they just did like the Shadow thing where you get a quick glimpse of him and that's it, I would be like, okay, it's Metal Sonic. The fact we got to see him pull a fucking gun out and we got to see him like shift his head back into place and see a bunch of other Metal Sonics, like, okay, so they are actually making a proposition with this character. But recently, it's like, was he cool in Sonic Colors Ultimate? No. Was he cool in Rise of the Wisps? No. Was he memorable in Sonic Mania? Not until the patch when he turned into a fucking kaiju.
Okay.
I think they made a critical error in this scene, and it is having Amy take them all out, because what worked in Fleetway was that Sonic fights one Metalix and pretty much gets beaten in their adaptation of Sonic CD. Then it takes Sonic and Knuckles fighting another Metalix in the Sonic and Knuckles adaptation, and they only win because Sonic goes super. And then it's revealed there's a brotherhood. And we get the Chaotix adaptation. And Knuckles is explaining to like Mighty Espio and Vector, no, you don't understand. One of these guys fought me and Sonic to a fucking standstill. One. There's like 10 in that room. We are cooked. We are done. And that was the threat.
They are obviously going to evolve into a... Like, because otherwise the movie would just be over. Like, in the mid-credits. And another thing worth noting is the past mid-credits have not really been... Like, Tails popping out of the portal did not happen when it did in Sonic 1, and it was a different Tails. Fucking Shadow was a different Shadow, and he was found under different circumstances to what he was in the Sonic 2 after credits. So the chances are what we're seeing here is like a tease, but it's not necessarily an event that happens in the movie or necessarily happens in the exact context. And maybe it could still be like Metal Sonic arrives in this form and gets his ass beat and then evolves. Maybe they all get back up. You know? Like,
that would be cool
to see. Like,
it would be cool if we saw this movie version of Metal take on some aspects of like Emerald or something like that, where like the more he gets beaten down, the more he adapts to his enemy and gets stronger based on
I have analyzed your style.
I also have another little pitch here. So, Terios Kintobor hits the nail on the head in the chat here. This is kind of what my feeling was, is what the hell can Metal Sonic do that makes him as interesting as Eggman or Shadow? Now, this is where adaptation comes into play. But I like that. Yeah, I feel that. But I think there's a couple of things I can do. One is just make him such a killing machine that it's just fucking awesome. And that's also part of the reason why I say Metal Sonic's been kind of lame, is he's only ever been just a one-off boss for the most part. The only time he was ever the final boss was in Sonic Heroes, and he had to transform into a metal dinosaur to achieve it. Like, I just want to see Metal Sonic be Metal Sonic. But, okay, so, here's something they could do. Aside from making him just an epic killing machine, is, like, what if the key to defeating these Metal Sonics is to have a Metal Sonic on your side? So they could have, like, Amy gets kidnapped by one of the Metal Sonics, she starts referring to him as Mr. Robot, and you kind of lend the Gamma storyline to one of the Metallics. That becomes their secret weapon in a way. And then he goes...
So you want a Terminator 2, this thing?
Yeah, they could. I mean, they could. They could. Like, Terminator 2, obviously, you know, there's a bit of time travel involved and stuff like that. Like, am I right in that Terminator 2 was the time travel one?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a while too. Yeah.
I mean,
there's kind of time travel in every Terminator.
But with Sonic CD is a time travel story, you know? And I'm not saying they're going to do the time travel thing. I don't think they're going to do Little Planet. It's going to take place in New York, probably.
Well, no, the adaptation in Fleetway for Sonic CD they literally called it the Sonic Terminator.
I mean, they could do that. Like, they may well just do kind of like a Terminator 2 thing. You'll have Sonic make a joke about, where's Arnold Schwarzenegger when you need him? And then Amy's like, well, this is our Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is Mr. Robot. He's my friend. And then you could kind of go from there, folding in a few little adventure elements. And that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah. Wait, you want them to Scrapnik Island him?
Scrapnik Island, one of them. But again, another hot take. Mecha Sonic has always been cooler.
I mean, it's a hot take. Mecha Sonic,
If you think Mecha Sonic is cool, it's because you watched the Super Mario Brothers Z animation.
I didn't. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I 100% agree with that.
I've only ever seen one scene where he beats up a Yoshi, and I felt uncomfortable watching it because like,
oh yeah, no, that fight is just
I felt uncomfortable watching it because like, Yoshi's probably in a lot of pain right here, and he's just a little dinosaur creature. I don't know if I like seeing that. Like,
I think Mecha Sonic is cool due to issue 50 of STC, the Countdown to Disaster story, where one of them is where Mecha Sonic is soloing Sonic and Knuckles to the point that I have the original artwork for page 3 of that issue framed on my wall.
That's all.
That's why I think Mecha Sonic is fucking cool.
But I've always thought I thought he had cooler designs. He had cooler boss fights. Like, I think, you know, the fight against Mecha Sonic in Sonic 3 and Knuckles is cooler than the Metal Sonic confrontation. Metal Sonic can be cool, but I just think so often they kind of miss the mark. And like, Sonic Heroes, from a narrative component, I think Neo Metal Sonic has the potential to be very cool. I just really think, you know, if you're bringing back Metal Sonic, you really need to have a rival fight against him in either his base form or his Neo Metal form before going to the Metal Overlord. And that's one of many, many things that bugs me about the fucking game. But, like, I just think Heroes, at least on a gameplay standpoint, kind of missed the mark of what I would want to see from.
I can agree with that.
But I also think Neo Metal Sonic could quite easily make for a worthy replacement to Dr. Robotnik if they just up the charisma on it. Like, that's the thing, is you can have regular-ass Metal Sonic be like regular-ass Metal Sonic, but then you could have Neo Metal Sonic be this scenery-chomping villain again, like kind of how Eggman was. But, like, maybe...
No, I have a theory.
Okay.
So, and this goes back to Fleetway again, which I apologize for, but in that comic, Robotnik did not make Metal Sonic. It's revealed to actually have been a design of Grimer's, which is why when they do time travel shenanigans later to prevent Robotnik being Robotnik, Metal Sonic still exists because it's Grimer's design. His equivalent to Snively for Archie or SatAM fans. I'm like, okay, so if there's time travel involved, and we've got multiple Metal Sonics in there already referencing Brotherhood of Metalics in that, and Robotnik is dead as of the end of Sonic 3, if we take that at face value, who else could build it? And it's like, well, who is Grimer in the movie universe? And it's Stone.
I mean, so yeah, you could do that. So Stone, I don't see him becoming a villain because I just don't think he's not evil. Like, but
No.
something I would do if you put me in charge, if you installed me, I'm gonna get the most fan wanky thing. You're gonna hear the most fan wanky thing you've ever heard, right? If you ask me what I would do, I'd introduce Breezy the Hedgehog as this Rita Repulsa-esque character that also kind of doubles down as a businesswoman. And she's like, this is a Metal Sonic. The idea is we've tried to replicate Sonic to make him into like a pop culture icon. So we took all the data we have on Sonic, put it in this robot, and we made Neo Metal Sonic here. But the robot had opinions of its own of all of the data it was being fed and decided, rather than become Sonic, I want to destroy Sonic. And so you end up with Neo Metal Sonic being this scenery-chomping villain that is just has a petty loathing towards Sonic because his brain has been crammed with so much Sonic that he just wants Sonic dead. And you just make him very charismatic with it. So you kind of have this Lord Zed and Rita kind of dynamic between Neo Metal Sonic and Breezy the Hedgehog. That's my pitch.
It is going to be interesting, I guess, like how they're going to do. Yeah, like it is going to be interesting how they're going to.
New beef.
It is gonna be interesting how they're going to incorporate the time travel stuff if they're going to, because we still don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case. But like, are they going to go as far as to like introduce the time stones? You know, it like is Robotnik going to come back, but it's going to be a past version of him?
They'll introduce the Master Time Stone, and that's
yeah. The master
Time
time stone where it has all the time stones inside of it.
Or just the time stone if it's an adaptation. It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
Just the Phantom Ruby. Like who gives a fuck? Like let's just bring that in here for some reason.
I'd be game to see the Phantom Ruby.
Yeah, I mean they could just a MacGuffin that does everything.
It's probably not deliberate, but that black hole, I just call it null. Like, you know the bit.
Sure.
You know the bit from Sonic 2, the pre-Google Maps scene.
Yeah. I think it's interesting.
Time stone working as one object.
Yeah, just a singular time stone.
I mean, because it's
like
not a video game, you don't need to go gather them up.
I mean, aren't the Chaos Emeralds? Don't the Chaos Emeralds just turn into the Master Emerald or something?
Yeah. It's like the Master Emerald is the emeralds just forged together. Also, the question is, where are they now? Because Shadow was the last one to be in a super form, and he went wherever he did. Did he keep the emeralds on his person?
He most likely did.
I mean, since he's alive.
Yeah, but it could be quite interesting if he didn't. Like, if the emeralds just vanished off.
Oh, or if they just scattered around like Dragon Balls. I don't know.
I guess you could do that, and then it could be quite a fun little thing of like, well, they don't have the emerald this time, so what can they do next time? Like,
yeah, maybe the fourth movie is an actual like adventure where you have to go find the Chaos Emeralds, and you get to see like different parts
and that's something
like
I will say is, I was mentioning earlier. This movie didn't do everything I wanted it to. I was kind of hoping we would get the allusion to the possibility of traveling to woods now. In that, like, I don't need these movies to be fully animated, but I would like to see them visit the other worlds. But they also straight up said, we only have one ring yet left, and they used it.
Yes.
I mean, it could be Amy has more ring. Maybe she brings some.
She has to get there somehow. Like that's my
Yeah.
thing too. It's like she had to get there somehow. Shadows was explained just fine. Knuckles had, a ring or something. I'm not too terribly sure. Tails as
Knuckles-
well.
Well, Knuckles was the fucking asteroid. Not Knuckles.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Knuckles. Knuckles had the
No.
ring. Yeah, Shadow asteroid. Sorry.
Yeah,
my bad.
Shadow
I
was the
got Shadow and
asteroid.
Knuckles.
Yeah.
But like
Tails, I guess, kind of the same thing too. But like, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there's other ways they can gain access. Maybe introduce Nate Morgan into the movie, the father
Just-
of rings, and then have Sonic throw a fucking nuke at him like he did in the comics. But
Well, something
they-
they've very
hey.
cleverly done is they've decoupled Shadow from the emeralds, because if we look at the games, like Shadow's needed an emerald to use his powers, right? Like Chaos Control, Chaos Spear, it's all emerald based, even if it's a fake emerald that Tails made or what have you. Whereas here, Shadow has those latent natural abilities without the emeralds. He's using, he's teleporting around and all sorts.
Yeah.
and you can ask how
So
he
he's
can
not
do that.
reliant.
It could be Black Doom, like
Well, it could be his alien DNA, and then like maybe like if they
That's where they
really wanted to
can-
go,
where they can expand on it.
if
Mm.
yeah, like if they
Yeah,
really
they-
wanted to. I mean, they are going to do a Shadow show. I mean, has that
Or a
already been
movie,
confirmed?
maybe. No, there's no confirmation of
Yeah.
it being a show, but there's definitely another Shadow project somewhere down.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, I mean, you could say, where did he get his shoes? He got them from the TJ Maxx on the Black Comet.
Sure. I like,
The Facebook
I-
Marketplace.
yeah, Facebook.
The Black Comet has Facebook Marketplace.
God, I fucking hate that so much.
But yeah, no, I think the fourth movie is going to be interesting. I think how they portrayed both Amy and Metal, even if it's not canon in the post-credit scene, it definitely kind of gives a precedent as to how they're going to portray the characters in the next movie, where Amy is going to be more like headstrong and heroic, and Metal is like, I guess, going to be seen as like maybe a weaker villain, at least in the beginning. Even if that scene isn't canon, the number one thing that you do see from these post-credit scenes is like, okay, this is how this character is going to act in the next movie, basically.
Yeah. The other thing is also like, Metal Sonic obviously doesn't usually talk, but I kind of
Yeah.
figured that if they brought him into the movies, he probably would. But he's here and he's still
It might
mute,
it might
so,
be
like, I'd imagine he'll
it
get
might
it later.
yeah. It might be few and far between, I'll be honest. It might be like an OVA thing where there's like maybe like a couple bleeps or bloops and maybe like one or two like actual like
Yeah, it-
conveyed lines of dialogue.
it
Which
could
is
be
which
You
could
might
be
know
very
everything
impactful.
I'm going to do, but I know everything that you're going to do.
I can't wait for
It
that
could
to
a
be
fresh-
recited.
Because I am thinking, like, look, you generally need quite a scenery chewing villain for Sonic, but like, it could be kind of interesting to just for one movie not have a scenery chomping villain and instead have a guy that's mostly quiet and just let the other shenanigans play out. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna do that. But like,
I don't
I
think
will
they
say, yeah, like the longevity of the Sonic universe is definitely in question if Robotnik is staying. And the thing is, he kinda should.
He should.
Because
No,
like,
he should.
that was a good ending for
because
the character.
It's like the thing is that they kind of pseudo killed off Eggman in the second movie, which I wish they would have explained how he survived that. They didn't really go into that, but whatever. I can suspend my disbelief. I probably missed it somewhere in some. I don't
They
know.
don't explain
I
how he
didn't
survived,
catch
but
anything. No.
I
Yeah.
don't need him to explain it. He's a villain. Villains come back.
I mean, yeah,
But
and like
in
it's a
this
Saturday
case, it
morning
wasn't-
cartoon
in
deal.
this,
but
the reason why I don't necessarily want to come back this time is because not only did they kill him, they redeemed him as well.
yes, he's
and
no
if-
longer a villain. Like
Like, yeah, if
he
you were to
he
have him,
saved the world. Yeah,
yeah, if you would have him come back and be like, I'm going to kill everyone again, like it's nah. But like,
I think the only way I could accept seeing Robotnik in the next movie is if it's through a flashback, maybe building Metal Sonic. But then again, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I always
also,
thought.
like-
So here's my theory, and stop me if it's stupid, but I always imagined like the time between the second and third movie, Robotnik could have been building Metal Sonic or like an army of Metal Sonics because he wants to get his revenge. but he decides to keep them locked up in case he dies. And then once he dies, there's like a mechanism that goes off and releases the Metal Sonics onto the world.
The thing I will say is, if we want to kind of think longevity-wise, it would maybe be cool to have them created by someone and have that person. And I could see what you were saying, Webster, with the prospect of Stone being Grimer in, like, well, or the equivalent to Grimer. But I'd probably say, like, not Stone, just because he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would do that. The other thing,
or at least not this timeline Stone.
Interestingly, I mean, yeah, if you want to do the multiverse, but like, interestingly,
Yeah.
you do. The Metal Sonic does appear to be in quite a different kind of art style, I guess, to the other Robotnik Badniks that we've seen.
I did notice that he is. Yeah, he's more game accurate, which I think is very cool. I think he looks fantastic.
Well, to the point that Sonic even made a point of saying you got the eyes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because he's actually got the eyes right when you think
He's
about
actually
it.
got the eyes.
Movie Sonic's the one that got the eyes wrong.
Yeah.
That's really fucking funny. But
that actually is a funny thing. But it is true that, like, if I were to imagine Metal Sonic in this universe as Robotnik made him, he would actually be white, metallic, just like all the other Badniks were, but just shaped in the way that Metal Sonic would be, and maybe spray painted blue if he really felt unhinged.
Yeah,
you probably get something like the Sonic Prime Metal Sonic, but in white.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that maybe he's just branching out. Maybe we're overthinking it. But, like, at the same time, I think there's maybe a reason why he's in a different art style. Like, maybe there's a reason for it. But, like, I'm very intrigued to see where this is going. But also, yeah, if we've killed off Robotnik, maybe it is good for us to move away from Robotnik and show what else this big universe has to offer. It's just one of those things where the games have never done it. The comics have never successfully done it. Like, you know, they've never been able to have a long-term other nemesis for Sonic before. But I will say this. I don't think you can have an ongoing Sonic thing without that recurring baddie, that being Dr. Robotnik. But I'm open to see what they come up with. But also, Jeff Fowler has said that for now, they're looking forward to all the exciting new opportunities they have with, like, Metal Sonic and any other villains. But he said someday conversations about potentially recasting Dr. Robotnik will have to be on the table. And I find that very reassuring, not because I've got some boner for Robotnik to return, but because it shows me that he gets it. And, like, obviously he gets it. But, like, it shows me that he understands the importance that an ongoing Robotnik figure has in this universe. And they could do, like, a descendant of Robotnik or something like that, played by another actor. Maybe make him a bit less Jim Carrey and a bit more like game Robotnik in a way. They could, you know, there's a lot of people who think they'll do, like, Soul Dimension Eggman, but they're not going to do a character whose name you can't say out. Also, his design sucks. I'm sorry, Rush fans, but yeah, he looks stupid.
Oh, come on. Okay.
No. They might be Rivals fans.
It's okay,
no one's a Rivals fan.
I'm a Rush Adventure fan. Like, Rush Adventure, I think, is the best 2D Sonic game. But, like,
you're wrong, but okay.
It's up
Suck
there.
my dick, Webster, but okay. But, like, I think
I think that Dimension version of Eggman, we don't
in my opinion, if they go the Soul Dimension route, you gotta have Blaze. And
yes. No, definitely. I think,
this is already going in the direction of more Sonic CD sort of stuff with Amy.
For now,
I really
but, like,
doubt,
Sonic 5, you could do the Sonic Rush thing. But I'm not gonna lie, if we get to Sonic 5 and we're still not doing Chaos, what are we doing? Like,
I want Chaos so bad, just because, and this is just for me. Ever since I was 6 years old, you know, that's Sonic Adventure's the first real video game I've ever played, and I've always wanted that to be on the big screen, like seeing the movie Bag of Popcorn, the ending fight played like a movie, you know, as best as a movie could play out on the Dreamcast. Like, it's a no-brainer in my opinion. Plus, I want to see the egg carrier as well, whoever it's manned by.
Yeah, like, you're gonna need
whoever
a
it's
Robotnik.
manned by.
Yeah,
you're gonna need a Robotnik for the egg carrier, right?
And
like, that was
someone's
sick.
got to say, "Behold my floating masterpiece."
And then also
Yeah,
the best
exactly.
the best part of Sonic Adventure's story, Gamma's story, does
Yes.
kind of hinge on having a Robotnik in the frame. Now, what's funny is I did chat with Wayne about this, and Wayne says he doesn't want the movies to try Gamma because he just doesn't believe the movies have the emotional maturity to do a good job with it. I am always going to lean more towards I want him to try it. But, like, I get where Wayne's coming from. That story means a lot to him, and I think he'd rather not see it done that way. That he'd rather just stick with the adventure version than to see it, you know, to see the most mainstream version of it be something that doesn't do it justice, you know?
I'm with Wayne on this because it would have to be a subplot in the movie, obviously, and I don't know how well other people would take to it, or even if they would care if we were always going back to this Gamma subplot.
The thing is, like, if you do it well, you can. That's the thing is,
Sure,
I still say
but
with Knuckles, for example, you could have made me care about Wade Whipple, but you didn't. And
Yeah.
like with Gamma, at least, hey, it's a fucking robot, you know? Like, a robot with a design like Gamma's has less to prove to me than Adam Pally acting goofy. Because, like, I can see that in any other fucking Adam Pally project. Whereas, like, Gamma is like, he's a robot. It's like people said to, like, people ask me, is Shadow going to resonate with casual audiences? I just said, if a casual audience sees a black and red hedgehog on a motorcycle holding a taser and doesn't think it's fucking awesome, then I weep. Like, and I think Gamma is a similar thing. Like, look at him, he's cool. But like,
I agree.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I think Sonic Adventure, it just makes so much sense for this live action universe to take it on. I will say this. I think Sonic Adventure would be wonderful as a TV, but you'd need a good budget.
I think so too. I thought that's what the Knuckles show was at least going to like touch on. I'm not saying that the Knuckles show would have been the adventure like show. It's not Sonic Adventure 1 show, but I thought
No, but if you're going to explore chaos and stuff anyway,
yeah,
do
you
it
could
in a
explore the
Knuckles show.
Echidna tribe. Yeah, the Echidna tribe, chaos, how that relates and everything. But instead, we got his dad or whoever, or like the ancestor at the bowling alley, kind of played up for laughs. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, especially not while I'm sick. But like, regardless, and it's and everything that would be cool for Knuckles to experience is kind of played for laughs a little bit. And I was like, oh crap, they kind of like dropped the ball on this in particular. This would have been the perfect way to introduce like chaos as a concept, as well as maybe like, you know, introduce some other characters in the fray as well, you know? And
to be fair, you could gloss over that. Like, it's an apparition. That's the thing I will say is, I don't like the Knuckles show. You can easily walk these things back. You could still show us an Iblis. You could still, like, you could say all of these things Wade witnessed were just what he experienced in his head. That was his dream. That's not necessarily how Knuckles' story was. You could say that Pachacamac's ghost thing was, again, just a hallucination. Knuckles took some crazy edibles while he was grounded, and
these edibles ain't shit.
Yeah, these edibles ain't shit. Turns around, Pachacamac is there.
Hey, Knuckles has been in your rose bush again. That ain't a rose bush.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what's the laws out like in Montana? Like, you know, like, let's see, is weed legal in Montana? Why am I even going this far with it?
I don't know.
No. Keep going.
All
with
of this for a bit. I love the commitment.
It's not even a bit. Okay, so here we go. Is adult use of marijuana possession and use legal in Montana? As of January 1st, 2021, adults 21 and over may possess and use up to 1 ounce of marijuana with no criminal penalties. A quart is all Knuckles needs. Hell yeah, fucking Knuckles got baked.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Well, I guess it's Knuckles' turn to get stopped by police.
It's not like Wade's gonna arrest him, let's be real. Like, remember, Wade is a cop.
It's like, it's not like Wade's gonna arrest him. It's his.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to believe that, because I don't give a shit about the Knuckles show. I think it's all crap.
The thing is, a lot of people are saying that movie 3 really glosses over it and ignores it, but it doesn't really.
Thank
like
God.
the Wade joke and Wade being the guardian of the Master Emerald
Yeah.
only really makes sense in context of the Knuckles show. And he does, to be fair, have the flaming fist, but you could just say that's a choice. But like, it's still clearly canon in some capacity, but it could just be a fever dream, effectively.
The thing is, you can go into Sonic 3 having not watched Knuckles, and you won't feel like you're missing anything.
And you're just like, well, there's the Wade cameo. Which I also got to say,
yeah,
part of the reason why Sonic 3 is the best one, Wade is in it the least.
Oh,
I
that's
I
harsh.
like
That is my
here's
favorite
the
part
thing.
of it. I love it. I hate
Yeah.
the character of Wade Whipple. I will always say that.
I mean, to be honest, I never when Sonic 1 and 2 came out, I did not hate Wade. And when it was announced that Wade
I
would be a
did.
major character in Knuckles, I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, Wade could be fun. But like, yeah, no, I've seen enough Wade now. But like, I will say this. The whole time that they were talking about, like, Knuckles was talking about, like, the Master Emerald is in a secret location. And I was like, oh, Angel Island? Maybe they're going to go Angel Island get it. That could be cool. And he
Like
mentions
a
it again,
hidden
I'm like-
palace.
and he mentions it again, like, Angel Island? Are we going to see Angel Island? And then he mentions it's being protected by a fierce warrior. I was like, oh, who could do? Oh, it's Wade, isn't it? And then, like, it's cuts to
Wade.
Wade. I was like, yep, there
It
you
was
go.
funny.
And then
That was
Sonic
the
gives
funniest
him,
thing. Yeah.
Sonic gives him the stink eye. And, like, at the time I saw it, I groaned. I was like, ah, fuck. But at the same time, I was like, fair play. If you're going to do it, that's how you do it. Like,
I just saw that. I'm like, fuck.
and I will say this, like,
I thought
while
it was funny. Yeah.
I said that one
hate
thing I
fun.
was a little bummed out about with you don't like Frontier. One thing I was a little bummed out about with Sonic 2 was not getting
Frontiers has to be fun first for me to not like it.
well. Well, in that case, you're now just
Ooh.
speaking just nonsense. The psychosis has clearly got the better of you, Frank.
I mean, not a
Anyways.
good game, not a fun game.
Pop just
Ooh.
drops you in a secret timeout chat to cool
Not a
off.
fun game. I cannot see
I'll
how
just go
running
about
around
my
a
day.
big open space isn't fun.
Look,
But okay. Anyways, we
Uh,
got to get back
yeah.
to the topic at hand here.
Actually, you know what? Since we are talking about the whole Wade scene, I think it was interesting to see the way Sonic reacted
oh yeah.
to Tom like being apparently hurt.
But before we do that, I had one point I just wanted to quickly make was because on the topic of Angel Island, sorry, is like obviously I was bummed out we didn't get that in 2, and I'm still hoping that we will see it. But I will say this: not having Angel Island so far meant that Knuckles could be a proactive part of this adventure. So I will take that trade-off in this instance. I still hope
That's
that
fair.
we will explore it later. But back to you, Frank. Sorry, I just had to quickly throw that.
I mean, yeah, because it's like if you do introduce something that would be like Angel Island, he would either be there all the time or be neglecting the Master Emerald. No, he
If
just put it
Idris
in the hands
Elba
of.
ever decides he doesn't want to do these Sonic movies, it would be such a powerful scene if, like, Knuckles has tried everything to keep the Master Emerald safe and realizes he's out of options. He just has to sit by it and guard it for the rest of his life. And that's the ending of his story. That would be so powerful.
It would, but
yeah.
you would probably have to do that if they knew for sure this would be the finals. This hypothetical movie would be the last one.
No, definitely. But, like, yeah, if they did, like, the last movie, or if Idris Elba's like, I'm retiring from the role of Knuckles and we're going to retire this character, it could be, like, that could be a really sad ending, is, like, Knuckles, after everything he tried to protect the Master Emerald, realizes the only way to do it is to give up his life and dedicate it to just standing by it. Like, dude, that's,
Yeah.
like, torture. Like, that's
I don't know
so
that they would
dark.
go that route simply because the games seem to be distancing themselves from it. Where you look at Frontiers, where he's like, yeah, actually, maybe I do want to get out and see the world more. We've got the Tails Tube at the new year,
The thing
where he's like,
is,
oh, I'm going to be doing what I do every year, guarding the Master Emerald. He's like, oh, no, you're right, maybe I should do more.
does Knuckles say? I thought that Tails Tube kind of reversed a lot of the decisions of Frontiers, because Frontiers,
I don't.
we know they're probably not going to follow up on that, and I think that sucks. That's just bad storytelling.
Yeah.
But like the whole thing of like Frontiers is like Amy's like, oh, I'm gonna spread my love around the world, by which I could mean building communities, or this could be the grand polyamory tour. But like she's like, I'm gonna go far away. I'm gonna go far away from Sonic. Tails like, I'm gonna go on my own for a while. You won't recognize me the
I'm
next
not
time
gonna
you
be a
see
chicken
me.
shit.
Yeah, and then Knuckles is like, oh, maybe I could turn my back on the Master Emerald. And then it's like Ian Flynn's like, hey, Dream Team, by the way, takes place after Frontiers. Like, well, I still recognize Tails. Amy's still here. Knuckles is... I mean, he talks about guarding the Master Emerald. But to be fair,
Yeah.
he hasn't... He's abandoned the Master Emerald for children's birthday parties for the past, like, 20 years now.
I was gonna say, like, the whole, like, I guess lesson that Knuckles learned in Frontiers always seemed disingenuous, because it's like, you were never really guarding the Master Emerald, like, barely at all. Like, you were
no.
always going on these adventures. Like, there's no, like,
Frontiers
lesson to
is
be
story,
learned.
though. Like, as,
That
like,
thing could have
Jeb...
been gone for all we know.
Well, Jeb is like absolutely right in his kind of assessment on Frontiers' story. In that, like, I do like the story. I think it's a huge improvement from what came before. But I think what Jeb really pointed out was that Frontiers does a lot to give the illusion of growth in these characters, but it doesn't really have anything to back it up with. And then also, like, they're probably not going to follow it up either. Like, and I think that kind of sucks. It's like, hey, look how far these characters have come already. Well, no, they haven't. And then it's like, look how far these characters are going to go if Sega allows it, which they won't. Like, so
it's the equivalent of somebody making a New Year's resolution, following up with it for a few days, and then giving up.
It's a very well-intentioned story, and I think Ian Flynn was effectively trying to strong-arm Sega into actually allowing them to explore these characters a little bit. And maybe they'll pick up that story in a comic, but let's face it, they're not following up on.
Yeah, no. Like, it's not going to be
I can't wait. Yeah. Can't wait for the next game where Knuckles is like, you know what? I should probably go out more, and I gotta go.
Also
this giant green rock.
And then back to kind of the New Year's thing as well. It's like they said their little New Year's resolutions as the things from Frontiers, but reverse engineered it so that Sonic can still be a part of it. So Amy's like, I'm gonna go help communities and spread my love across the world. And Tails is like, I'm gonna be an independent fox boy. And Knuckles is like, I'm going to continue guarding the Master Emerald. And Sonic is like, hey, Amy, I'm at your party. No matter how far across the world you are, I'm gonna be with you, babe. And then Knuckles is like, hey bro, don't fucking suss me. Why are you behind my ass? Get the fuck away from me.
Biblically accurate characters.
Yeah, like honestly, you should just voice all the characters.
Fuck Azuka, man, I got this.
You should write the games.
Ian, don't write a script. I'll just improv it. I'll just improv this fucking story.
Yeah, but just
right. So
just off the cuff.
Finally, Knuckles abandons the Master Emerald. I'm gonna go join the Chaotix now. Okay, goodbye.
Why do you sound like?
Master Emerald
Zach from
Master Emerald. Hi. I'm gonna leave you in the capable hands of my good pal, Mario.
He was kind of going into Charlie from
No, that's what I was saying. Like Zach. Yeah,
okay,
Zach.
my bad.
Yeah, Zach. Well, Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm way off base with this, but I was getting like Napoleon Dynamite vibes.
I was going more for Bob's Burgers, but I mean, I was first and foremost, I was going for Game Knuckles, but it just kind of drifted from Bob's Burgers to Charlie. So this is my
Linda. We must make burger.
This is my Knuckles voice, I guess. I want to go get.
Sonic,
I want to go
get.
Get.
Make burger.
Sonic, I want to go get some grapes. Okay, I'm gonna be right back.
Grapes for burger.
I tell you what, that voice would explain a lot for Knuckles, because for someone who guards the Master Emerald, fucking hell has it been stolen a lot.
Your society is full of undisciplined weak, but I do enjoy.
It's just like Robotnik taking the Master Emerald again, and there's Knuckles rolling up the joint.
Robotnik's evil. He told me that he was a good guy.
I can't wait for Amy to use tarot cards in the fourth movie exclusively. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, why does she have a hammer? What the hell is that?
Yeah, why does she have a hammer?
Where are the tarot cards?
Yeah,
when I saw the hammer, I was like, hang on a minute, Harley Quinn's in this movie? And I was like, wait, what, Amy?
It's like, whoa.
A hammer made out of tarot cards. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so like it's like Sonic is electricity, Knuckles is the flames of disaster, whatever the fuck. Shadow's just because he's
disaster.
Shadow's just because he's an alien.
Christ.
And Amy's her power comes from like the tarot cards.
And then Tails is just a fucking freak.
Yeah, Tails you
Tails is a fucking weirdo.
Amy's is just about like tarot cards and board games and everything. She has to roll for initiative.
Hey Sonic, you ever play Magic the Gathering? What?
She's playing the game Sorry in the middle of a battle. Just hold on.
Yeah, like fucking
Hammer's like, wait, hold on. Rolls
Metal Sonic is just like
one.
Metal Sonic is just like
tap.
I have you now, Amy, and she's like, yeah, well, Uno reverse, bitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh well, Uno.
No, I was saying like, oh, she's going for a hammer swing. It's like, oh wait, hold on. Rolls a dice, rolls a one. It's like, damn, it just taps him.
Yeah. It's like, sorry, it's like playing Monopoly, like you're going to jail, and like just do that.
Do not pass go, do not collect $200.
And then
Dude,
Sonic
I know we only saw Amy for a very brief moment, but I kind of, with the way she was swinging the hammer around, I got Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vibes.
Oh, for sure.
I could kind of work with like that's
I could-
another
yeah.
thing is like how they're going to characterize Amy, but I do want to save that for another episode because I did kind of promise that we
Yeah.
have more Sonic movie topics to discuss with Dylan.
I can't wait for Amy to tell Sonic bread makes you fat.
What do you mean? I'm right here.
Yeah. Bread
Sonic,
makes
what do you
fat.
mean I'm fat? How dare you?
Okay.
And then she can see Sonic's quills and go, "It's all blue." Although that would be role reversed.
It would be so
Yeah, that
funny
would be.
if Amy was like, "Actually, Sonic, I have a boyfriend."
I like. I know we're going to talk about this in a later episode, but I do feel like Sonic is going to be the one to have a crush on Amy, not the other way around.
It'd be a fun little role reversal.
It'd be
I think so.
interesting.
I think so.
Yeah, because like movie Sonic does strike me as someone who could be a bit of a simp.
Oh, I think it's also.
Besides the amount of references you can make. Hey, Amy, they have this thing on Earth called OnlyFans. Have you ever considered that?
Christ.
Oh my
no.
god!
Stop.
If no, they're never going to do
I
that.
thought it was like,
Well,
oh,
duh,
you could, you
oh,
could
no,
play these
Trey,
video
duh.
games on stream. Yeah,
Hey,
they
Amy,
watch you
have you
play
ever-
it in real time.
It's
Have
like,
you ever heard of Twitch,
Twitch?
streaming?
I'm
You could
glad that me
stream-
and Pup were in the same.
You could stream Magic the Gathering while I rub your feet. Sonic, what the fuck?
It's like, well, okay.
Sonic, I got a
Alright.
boyfriend. And then it's just like, oh no, who's your boyfriend? And then Shadow just rocks like, hey, Sonic.
It's like you're alive. Like that's the conflict of the next movie.
Why do they always like the bad boys?
Sonic,
Yeah.
I fucked your bitch. Yeah, well, you're just a
Why do-
bitch anyway. Fuck you. I'm a
Why
nice
do
guy, Amy.
good
I'm a
girls
nice
like
guy.
Bad guys. I had
Sonic,
this question
Sonic,
for
it's me, Knuckles. You really gotta get over this Amy chick, dude. Like,
you. Really sound like Charlie from Smiley Friends. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
no,
it's
I am
so
heartbroken.
uncanny. It's
How
insane.
am I?
I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, no, it's like whoa, man, you probably shouldn't say that. Like, I don't know
Well,
how you
Sonic-
do it, but like,
Sonic, dude, you gotta leave her alone, bro.
For some reason, Sonic 4 just turns into Clerks midway through. It's like chasing after Amy out of a shop going, "Try not to suck any dick in the parking lot."
bro, what if Sonic has to fight the seven evil X
We got
Metal
two
Sonics?
people-
I
chat
tell,
who
I
have-
tell,
who
yeah,
are
the
sharing the same
7
brain
evil
flow right
X
now.
metals.
Yeah, the 7 evil X Metal Sonics. Like that's what it is.
We got Tom Topics and Mr. Krabs sharing the same brain cell right now. It's pretty good.
Oh my god.
It would,
Holy shit.
yeah, I mean, listen, I'm fine with
That
tarot
would be a
cards. Tarot
character
cards,
change.
hammer,
Jeez.
I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as Amy's integrity as a character remains. Because this is one thing I am a little worried about. And I'm not trying to make this political. I want to make this really clear, straight
Oh,
up.
here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
In come the grifters.
No, it's look, it's very good that we handle female characters with more dignity than we used to, all right? Very good.
Mm-hmm.
But too often,
Right.
it's just we've hollowed this character out and installed Girl Boss software and left it at that. I don't want them doing that to Amy.
I think her being a girl boss is okay, but I don't feel like she should be like
It
one
depends what
one
genre.
dimensional.
Like completely invincible.
Well, it
without
depends
flaw.
what genre of girl boss. I don't mean like she's can't be good at things and stuff. Obviously, what I
Right.
mean is Amy in some ways is the original girl boss. Like you look at like Sonic X, that's kind of like peak Amy characterization, and she is all confidence. She's got a ridiculous amount of confidence for such a mid girl. But like
Jesus.
I love how this conversation is happening between like 4 men, like on a table. Like,
yeah, there
Yes,
is
we are
no
qualified.
you know,
there
like
is-
this.
we gotta get
We
We gotta get a
clearly
girl
the
on this show
experts
at
on
one
this matter.
point. We
we gotta
really
get a
do.
girl on this show to like talk about Amy or something. But like
Absolutely.
Like, so anyways, fucking, what I'm saying is, Amy in some ways is the OG girl boss. I don't want them making her generic girl boss, where she's just like, don't
That's what I
worry,
was saying,
gang, I
yeah.
know what to do. I'll be the leader of the gang. You boys are so silly. And that's not because I'm offended or anything by that shit. It's just because
You certainly sound like
Amy,
it.
Amy has her own genre of confidence that I want them to adapt. I don't want them just doing the
Yeah.
Princess Peach thing. Okay?
I
Like,
have a feeling that she's gonna be confident, like with the whole Metal Sonic thing, and then at some point, just it's one of those you bite off more than you could chew.
I'd also love
It's-
it if they made her as
Sonic goes through it a
fucking.
few times.
I'd also love it if they made her as utterly brainless as she is in the adventure games, but I don't think we're allowed to do that in modern Hollywood.
Well, plus I don't feel like that's even the case. Just
It
just
is
because
the
of what
case.
we've already
She's
seen.
so dumb. Have you seen her? She's so
Oh,
stupid.
she's a little bit ditzy, which I think is like kind of like
I like
endearing.
the dits. I like the dits.
Yeah.
It's endearing.
I think it's
And
endearing. She's not stupid. She's just a little clueless sometimes.
I
It's fine.
reject the idea that ditziness is problematic. Like, stupid people deserve love too.
I mean, look at me.
Fuck it up.
I mean, movie Knuckles,
I mean,
early
to be
on.
fair, movie Knuckles.
very oblivious to everything.
But he isn't. But he isn't stupid. He just doesn't know.
My assessment, though, of Knuckles is ignorant. My assessment of Amy, though, is that she has done so well getting by with only a single brain cell, and that brain cell is shaped like Sonic.
I mean,
It sounds more like a Wade Whipple thing. He's an idiot.
Yeah,
Oh,
Wade
no,
Whipple,
A
yeah.
dumb idiot.
No,
Wait,
I'm
does he
hoping we
deserve
get
love?
more of
Like,
and I know
one
I've
brain
drawn a
cell-
lot of comic comparisons already, but so many of the comics end up putting Amy more towards like leadership roles and
Or, like,
tactician
tomboy.
roles, and
Like, Fleetway
Yeah.
Amy is a straight up tomboy, and isn't it like heavily implied that Techno is her girlfriend?
I think that's the fandom reading into things that maybe aren't there, but
All right, but I just
certainly.
want to point out another thing that backs up my Amy is fucking is. All right,
She needs to go see a concert at some point in Sonic 4.
Check back rooms. Just look at
okay.
her. You know?
look at that
That's
stupid.
just a
face.
screenshot from Adventure 2.
Yeah, but just look at
think it's-
her. Like, where's the brain? Where is it? Like,
What is this?
Yeah,
immediately after
they're-
she's hugged Shadow and been
I mean,
like,
yeah,
"Wait,
that is
you're
also
not
after
Sonic."
she mistook Shadow for Sonic. Is she
Yeah.
stupid or something?
There is
Yeah.
not a thought behind those eyes.
No, she's so dumb, and that's why I like her. So
I think
endearingly
okay.
stupid.
I think someone in the chat made a good point. Just let Amy be bubbly. Let her
Yes.
be. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a better way to describe
A
it. Like
big part
let
of the
girls
appeal
be
of-
bubbly.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
big part of the appeal of Amy is how bubbly she is, and she's silly. Silly is a word that can
Yeah.
be used to describe her, and I feel like
Absolutely.
there are some instances where they've tried to strip away the silly. I can understand it in Frontiers, because Frontiers is a dour-ass game with dour-ass circumstance.
I
But when I
everything
saw-
No, if anything,
was-
she
yeah.
needed to be sillier there to bring up the morale. Like when everyone's really down, that's when you actually need the optimists to be peak optimists to bring everyone back up.
Also,
Well,
further
there was an
Right.
evidence,
optimist, but he was a realist and wasn't around.
further evidence that she's fucking stupid. This image here, too. She's all heart and no
Also-
head.
Also, I think it was Owl the Boy or someone that said that Silver being a realist makes no sense because his whole existence comes from basically failure of trying to stop something that is inevitable. So if he was a realist, then he would have just like given up and accepted the consequences. But that's just not the case.
She is also the only Sonic Adventure 2 character model.
I
to
love
have
how
a
Pup's in
nostril.
a different world right now.
I'm putting it up on
Yeah.
stream. Like, she has nostrils, dude. How can you tell me she's not brainless?
Oh my gosh.
Fun fact. none of the-
But just to double check, you look at your nose and just have a feel around. You've got nostrils, right?
I'm a human. I'm allowed. Look, Webster. Men have nostrils. Okay, that's fine.
God.
Fun fact, canonically, none of the Sonic characters have toes.
Yeah, they just
She
have
is-
web. They just-
Okay,
Yeah.
They
Adventure
have
2.
feet, and that's it.
and
she
also
is-
technically,
She's looking at that emerald like it's a fucking chocolate chip
God,
cookie.
that's a weird thing. That's a weird thing. Like Sonic characters don't have toes, but they have fingers.
you know, it wasn't it a thing where Knuckles' shoes were supposed to be sandals?
Hang on, there was a thing where there was official art of Amy in sandals in the adventure cell,
she's
and I
got
think it is
blobby.
just like one big toe, and then the
It's
rest
one
is
big blob,
conjoined.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
That's what I was
I
getting at.
I don't want to keep talking about Amy's feet. All right, like let's move along here. Move along here, guys.
But yeah,
I
I was
found
just saying,
it.
like, how weird of an idea that was. You were kind of off in your own world.
yeah.
I
we were
just
talking
I'm
about
sorry.
how dumb
I-
Amy looks.
No, it's because look, there's something so endearing about her Sonic Adventure 2 character model, and I don't know what it is, but she just looks so silly, and I just love it.
Yeah, that's the weirdest fucking shit.
Why is that weird?
I was wrong. She doesn't even have a big toe. It's just one big blob.
Enough about the feet!
Like, isn't that the weirdest fucking thing? It's like, so how do those sandals stay on? Are they supposed to be like?
Look at Knuckles' shoes now. They are sandals.
I mean,
They're supposed
Knuckles.
to be
Okay,
sandals.
yeah, you can make a case to say that they are sandals.
Dude,
but
there's Lego bricks.
I mean,
The Lego bricks are the belt loop things. That's what it's supposed to be.
The movies have officially kind of debunked
They made
that
them
now.
shoes. They made them shoes, but
They
like
got it wrong.
the movies
cowards.
aren't real. The movies
Yeah,
aren't
it's
real.
like how they made Sonic's eyes two things. It's like,
yeah.
Dude,
You know.
Okay. Yeah, no, that doesn't really make. Yeah, they turned them into shoes because you have like
Yeah.
the green part.
Also, Big the
Yeah.
cat wears sandals too.
That's true.
We're doing a sandal comparison in the
A
background.
sandal shoe comparison. Yeah.
Welcome to the feet episode.
Oh my
guys.
god, he does. I never noticed it.
See, isn't that
I
weird?
always-
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
always
is,
thought he was wearing shoes.
But wait, hang on. You see the artwork here, like the Yuakawa artwork, backrooms, right? They could still be shoes here. Like, just wait. They could still be purple shoes.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
then-
thought.
But then you see it on the 3D models, and you can see that it actually connects to his little hoofs. They're like, yeah, like he's like, damn.
Yeah.
Or they could
that's
be
just
boots.
sandals.
They could be boots.
Yeah,
actually.
I thought that too. Boots could be another thing.
They're-
I mean, boots
Yeah.
would make sense with the whole fishing.
But then again, there's not like a really fine line there, though. Like the line has kind of a scratchy quality to it. So yeah, that's fair. That's his feet, guys.
But then you see like, I was like,
Tom, I dislike this conversation.
also like, I think it'd be even more cursed if it was just like one big toe, because then it'd have like one big toenail.
I mean, the Sonic
Oh.
characters, you never see their fingernails, so like I think we're fine.
Shall we move on to Super Chat?
Please.
Sure, let's do it.
Do you think they have fingernails?
No, I'm gonna just say this right now. They shouldn't have fingernails.
I mean,
Like,
Surely
I
they'd have
refuse-
claws, if anything.
I refuse to believe it.
what about that original Sonic movie design?
I think it's probably just
That
like kinda,
doesn't exist.
I mean, I think it could be kind of like how like the Simpsons don't have. You just don't need to draw them in there. You could just assume that they're there.
Yeah,
It's
like,
like-
where does Bart's forehead end and his hair begin?
I mean, I'd love it
Oh
if they have
God,
pockets as well. You know how like sometimes cartoon animals have like pockets? Like that would be so.
No, what was it like? There was like,
Family Guy,
I
right?
just think of the scene from Family Guy. Where
Yeah,
Brian
he's like,
puts
you have
stuff-
pockets? That's so cute.
Like weird little kangaroos.
Yeah, I like that cartoon
Oh, that's
logic
like
kind
a
of
pouch,
shit, man.
though.
All right, enough with the okay, right. So, all right, let's just go ahead.
Let's move on to super chat.
All right.
I love
Web-
how we made him so uncomfortable with that conversation.
I just wanted to talk about what a silly little scrimblow Amy could be, and you guys wanted to talk about her fucking feet. Like,
You turned it into a fetish.
you wanted to talk about head
Hey,
shoulders.
I never turned it into a fetish. It was just a weird observation.
Someone in a
Okay.
Facebook group posted a picture of like a sandy cheek doll, and like I was thinking like
Where is this?
I won't
going?
lie if someone offers me a to go, but like anyways,
What?
Webster,
what?
you're up first with the first of the super. Oh wait, that's not.
You gotta remember, this is the same guy that was like enough about the feet conversation.
Oh no, about the feet. That was funny. I will be candid there. That was pretty funny. All right.
So we have $1.99 from Mr. Krabs, who says, "In Wario Time Friday, will I recover from a cold?"
You put your heart and soul into that.
Are you also sick too, Mr. Krabs? Because like I've been sick and I'm just now
Yeah,
recovering from it, and it
Fucking
sucks.
Weird.
I was
weird
sick
couple of
earlier in the
weeks,
month.
Like almost everyone getting sick.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm
Who's
up.
next?
Mr. Krabs,
To
Mr.
address somebody
Krabs.
in chat, no, Sonic does not have claws.
How do you know that?
I'm looking at a design of the.
I
of
met
the-
him.
The original Sonic.
he... we broke bread.
I'm looking
we broke
at the
bread
original
at the
Sonic
table.
design.
He was there.
I want the
we broke-
original Sonic. No, I said the original Sonic. Perfection.
Perfection.
You know, after Penguin, they should get Colin Farrell to play the next Robotnik. Just have Robotnik be like, "It's just the way it is, Agent Stone." Jesus Christ! You see that Amy girl? She was hogging up all your dives.
Just get Danny DeVito to like play Eggman.
Where's the
next movies.
gabagool? You
think-
motherfucker!
I think Danny DeVito would kill it, in my opinion.
Wait, so who's reading super chat?
Yeah,
I think
it's
it's
me. Mr. Crab sends the $4.99. Thank you for your generosity, Mr. I noticed the Grifter are trying to touch Sonic again with Sonic 3's success, even though we can't forget 2 months ago they attacked Sonic X Shadow Sonic X Shadow Generation.
I hate how you phrased it.
No, but so they do this every fucking time because Sonic 1 came out opposite Birds of Prey, and the Grifters were like, ha, Sonic demolishes woke Hollywood. And now, like, Sonic 3 opposite Mufasa, they're like, woke Disney is cowering in its boots. It's the last month, 1 month ago, you were like, they covered up Rogue the Bat, and it's like, okay,
Rogue the
yeah. I feel very strongly about Rogue the Bat. I'll have you know.
There was a motherfucker on YouTube who did the same shit for like Sonic Dream Team, calling her Rogue the Bat, and I fucking lost it,
dude.
The thing is, I can forgive it a little bit, but if it's a guy that's trying to pretend he really cares about this character, all in the name of owning those fucking woke leftists, it's like
owning the libs. That's what it is.
It's like one thing,
you know, like suck my buns, buddy.
It was one thing in the days of like Final Fantasy X, where it was just text on screen. We all called him Tidus, and we didn't find out until years later in Dissidia that it's supposed to be Tidus. That would be fine, but ever since Rouge has first appeared, it's been in voice-acted games where we have heard her name spoken multiple times.
Only because motherfuckers don't know the spelling of Rogue and Rouge. You just switch 2 letters.
Yeah, but like I could take some dyslexia. You know, that would be fine.
Sure.
I would accept that.
Yeah.
Totally understood.
But her name is
easy to
spoken.
find out how it's pronounced, though.
How many years has it been since her introduction?
Yeah,
20. However old Sonic Adventure 2 is.
If you care about Roger the Bat so much, you'll know what her fucking name is.
Roger the Bat? Okay.
Okay, so next up is Frankenborg.
Mr. Terry Chaos with 5... Is that pounds?
It's pounds, yeah.
Okay, with 5 pounds. I fucking hate this.
Have fun.
Skibbity Hawk to a fellow Giga Chads, Moggin hard or hardly risen.
So Terry and I were up late last night, and he was explaining this to me, but we had that, like, sleepover conversation, like, dude, who was, like, the hardest teacher? Like, it was like that, and then there was the deep conversations, and then Terry was telling me he wants his default greeting to be Skibbity Hawk to a fellow Giga Mogging hard or hardly risen. I think
oh god, is this a Miss Chapman conversation?
Yeah, it was the Miss Chapman conversation.
Yeah.
I don't like... I hate that so much.
But then I told him about Miss Norfolk from my school, and that wasn't a
We're just
awakening.
name dropping everyone, aren't we?
It doesn't matter. These are pretty generic names. Every school has a Miss Chapman. Every single school has a Miss Chapman.
That is true. Like even in America, yeah. No, even in America, there was like I had like a Miss Tolbert, you know, which now that I think about it, was my speech therapist whenever I was younger. Yeah. So.
I liked that Pup meant literally a Miss Chapman, that exact name, and you guys took it as a metaphorical, yeah, we all had a teacher we would have banged.
Stupid. No, well,
no, it's not a teacher we would have banged. No, I would not have.
I've ever been to. Every school I've ever heard of. Oh, okay, then yeah, Trey, you're correct. There's a Miss Chapman at fucking every school. If your last name is Chapman, you are obligated to become.
Yeah.
But only if you're a woman. Because there is never. There's no. I'm saying only for a woman, not because I'm being problematic, but I've never heard of a Mr. Chapman. Never. But I've heard plenty of Miss Chapmans, which is really funny because Chapman, when you think about it, is a very masculine chap man.
Man.
You might as well be called Mr. Dude Guy, you know, like.
Yeah,
I tell you what, bro. When Pup's done with her, she'll be Mrs. Chapped Cheeks.
Jesus fucking Christ! Why would they be chapped? What did I do to her?
Yo, they'll be clapped, man. You know what I'm saying?
Chapped implies that chapped is what happens when your lips dry out. What did I do? Like.
Rub too hard.
Hello, Miss Chapman. I'm going to harness all of the natural oils from your anus.
I'm so glad that Pup just completely blew over the fucking joke I made.
What was the joke you made, Trey? You've said that.
I said she's gonna be, her cheeks are gonna be clapped, man. That's what I said.
That's yeah. All right.
All right. All right.
Too much friction.
Thank you for this, Terry.
All right. So
Right.
my turn.
Yeah, go on, buddy.
It's KB with $1.99 US dollar dues. Thank you, KB. Happy New Year's, Sunset citizens. Happy New Year's. Let's go. Let's hope my voice
Happy
comes
New
back.
Year.
And also, Trey, like,
Thank
man,
you,
I can't
Trey,
do
for the
this much
dollar
longer.
reduce.
The next
Yeah.
one is dollar dues. I can't with this. Oh, that's you, Webster, by the way. You got the dollar.
Cool. Omega Mr. Salty with $7.99. I think that's Australian dollars.
Which is
Australian Freedom Bucks.
just for,
There doesn't seem to be a message with it. Just
yeah,
just
the
the name
a
and the
yogurt
amount.
male, which means he doesn't feel the need to be heard. He only wishes to.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
The
you very
ultimate, yeah, hell yeah. Thank you, Mr.
We
Salty.
appreciate the support.
Yeah,
This is my
absolutely.
favorite kind of person. You know, gives money and I don't have to read his ridiculous, stupid ramblings. about his other-
No.
I like.
Okay,
reading
don't listen to
ridiculous
Pop.
messages.
We love reading your messages.
No,
Please. keep
if you
sending
send me a
messages.
super chat, that's great. If you
No.
send me a super chat with a message, go fuck yourself, you attention-seeking little
no,
cock.
we just got a
I'm
new
just
one. Why are you
glad-
telling people not to do it?
I'm just glad I don't
As long
have
as
to
you're not
pronounce
making
the
us
word
say-
in the next one.
As long as you make only pups say skibbity and Hakutua and all that shit,
Everyone
make him
will
say
assume
it,
it's a
and we
joke.
appreciate every single message, every single super chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hang on, I gotta copy
Who's
a few
next?
more of these down.
Okay. fair enough.
Wait a second. The thing is, if someone's super chatting, they know what my
God.
Right, let's take down the names of these fucking... wait, is it my turn to read? Oh, it's my turn.
It is your turn to read,
Oh,
yeah.
man, you know how it is. Alright, fine. Burger. Mr. SP sends $2 US dues. Your chromatophobia is finally cured. Way to go. What does that mean?
I assume that's something about color?
I could see colors.
I don't know.
Chromatophobia is an irrational fear of money, especially spending it. It can make it difficult to pay bills or spend money even when you can afford to. The term comes from the Greek word chromata, meaning money, and phobos, meaning fear. Some people... I'm not going to read this. We're just
I think I need to get this fear because at the moment I'm too happy to spend.
Yeah,
I have this fear,
yeah.
but I'm also in overdrive.
You should have the fear then, yes.
Frank,
KB with the $1.99 US dollar dues. Wow, an American purely made out of bread.
I get it, because I asked if Trey was a purebred American.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey.
So inbred, it's practically a sandwich.
Nope. Don't say that. Nope. That's not. Nope.
That was
I
awesome.
I reject that. Actually.
I don't doubt that somewhere down my ancestry, definitely.
I feel like that's everyone though.
No, but I'm
Right?
like English, and like as far back as
yeah.
the like family tree thing goes, it's all English. Like, yeah, nah, some brothers and sisters would definitely.
It's like the Conan thing where they figured out he was 100% Irish.
It's like
And it's
the
like
thing
that's
is,
impossible.
Like,
Yeah.
Also, like, you know, the British, like, it was rampant among England back in the day.
There is technically a family in the US that is like extremely inbred, and it's very like it's very surreal to like see a video of them, but it's also very like unsettling.
Oh,
This is a Sonic the Hedgehog podcast.
That's
It
it.
was a classic. And, well, you know, Knuckles the Echidna and Archie
Oh,
and
God.
the family lineage and the Lara Sue and the Julie Sue and the...
So, Patrick Mac, how much inbreeding is in the Echidna warrior?
Patrick O'Mac's like, I want to fuck my sister now, Knuckles.
You know, I'm
Or
gonna
at the
ignore
very
that
least,
last-
a first cousin.
I'm gonna ignore that last bit, but you know, when we were talking about like how they would wrap up Knuckles' character and he would go and guard the Master Emerald. One of the other things I thought of was like, what if the Chaos Emeralds and Master Emerald, like, what if they're just destroyed for
fucked?
good?
Oh, that's another thing.
That's a possibility.
Who's
Hold
next?
up. I just have.
That.
I think.
Okay. It is.
Troy Bolton.
Okay.
Give me
Okay.
one moment so I can burger you.
Okay.
That sounds.
No, it's fine. I can say
That sounds dirty.
Yeah. Nah, it's okay.
That's
How have I been
Sophia.
sounding, by the way, besides like the
Crazy bitch. Actually, yeah, you
The-
sound great.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
good.
sound fine.
Yeah. This is gonna be my new setup from now on, so I'm happy it sounds good.
Nice.
KB. Oh, thank you. It gave you with $9.99 US reduced. Thank you, KB. The goal was not reached. Now the Sunset citizens must instead make a serious noise.
That's okay. So right, I gotta quickly explain this to audio listeners. YouTube has a new feature where you can set super chat goals. So I set the goal of get 50 super chats in 15
that's
minutes,
for?
and we will make a silly noise. And we didn't reach the goal within the 15 minutes, so we'd have to make a serious one according to KB.
Yeah.
So
Why would you make it that high?
it's fun, funny, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
at worst,
like-
it's a joke. At best, money, you know? So,
It's a professional shit poster. What do you want?
Yeah, fair enough.
you know, like, this is how,
So
this is how
what would our-
this is how you get the moolah, you know? So, okay, then we gotta make a serious noise, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, on the count of 3.
We're just gonna
One.
do it all at once. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
1, 2, 3.
No.
No, fucking damn it.
So no, is that serious or apathetic?
I think.
Yeah,
I think.
Trey,
Yeah.
I think you might have over-egged the pudding a little bit, buddy. But,
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I
that's
overcorrected,
alright.
just like Sega
Yeah,
does sometimes. You know, it's
Oh,
okay.
come here,
want-
you're so silly.
Should we try it again?
No,
Should we try it again?
no, we will not try again. We'll move on.
Okay, let's try
It
again.
never said we
All
had
right.
to get it right.
3,
Okay, 1,
2.
2.
Mm.
Wait. Do you remember that time Dylan made just this random orgasm noise in an episode? He was making like a
Yes.
reference to
Oh
something,
yes.
and he went, "Ugh," and we were just
And we were like, "Whoa, dude! Like, you good?" Like,
because he is like a strictly non-sexual being, you know? It's so funny.
oh my gosh,
That's a
With-
joke.
we-
Dylan fucks. That's a joke.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
That sounded more like when you just finish a satisfying shit.
Yeah.
I don't make noises in the toilet, and I don't get why so many dudes. I go to public toilets, and there'll be dudes pissing, just going, "Oh," and I'm just like, "What the
Just-
fuck?"
Oh.
Like, I get it, it's
Yeah, I
relieving,
don't get it
but like,
either.
I'm like,
I
are you?
don't understand it.
Yeah, like shake one more time, and you're masturbating. Like, get the fuck out of here.
God.
All right, so next up is
Can't do this.
It's like shake as much as you want. You know, you're not.
Yeah.
you gotta
drop
shake,
is still
rattle
gonna
and
get
roll. All right,
Shake as much as you want.
sorry.
A drop is
Oh
still
my
getting
gosh.
in, so
So
Webster-
sorry.
you have to live
everyone.
with it.
Webster is up.
Okay. So Sonic Hedgehog 34, thank you very much for the $9.99. If I'm being honest, I think the Chow Garden scene should have been longer. For example, I would have liked to see Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles shown entering the place, as well as the old War Sarge.
I love calling Commander Walters the Old War Sarge. That is fucking awesome. But you know what? I could kind of agree with that. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I would be
Yeah.
game for a longer version of Sonic 3. I don't think it's necessarily much of a problem, but like I would
We
be
need a
so
Snyder cut.
game. Release the what's something that would release the Sonic Rider cut.
I mean, there's certainly like some things that films can just imply. Like, you don't necessarily need to show every moment.
But it would be fun to see them discover it. Like,
Well,
Or
wasn't it
like at
placed
least
that, like-
decide that on that place. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, you've
wasn't
got
it
to
a
be kidding
thing-
me.
wasn't it a thing where Tails knew of it, and they were like,
Yeah.
"I know
no,
just
but
the
it would
place." And,
it would
yeah.
be so funny if it was the Old War Sarge who chose it.
Well, they don't have Olive Garden, but this has garden in the name.
I was gonna say,
No, I
eats
think
it
better
somewhere-
yet. They're just like, hey, what's some really mature places we can go eat? I don't know, Sonic. We could maybe go eat at Five Guys Burgers in front. And then Old War
We
Sarge's like,
could go
my
eat
God,
at the Chow Garden.
that place over there has cute little critters. I want to go eat there.
I'm just thinking of like
I don't know,
Smiling Friends characters where he's just like, we could go eat at the Chow Garden.
Tails is just
Where
like,
it's like
I love chows! I love chows! Don't say that out loud, okay?
I swear, I don't think you realize how close you sound to Charlie. It's actually uncanny. It's actually really
they just
impressive.
take a lot. They keep getting lost on their way there, and they finally make it. And just one of them, thank God, finally.
Thank
goes
God,
inside.
finally. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, if her name was Blaze the Cat, it'd be a cat.
If anyone out there is talented enough, could you please animate this section to where it's like Smiling Friends characters just going in, infiltrating the Sonic 3 scene? That would be hilarious.
No, I'll just redub the entirety of Sonic 3 and I'll play Knuckles. And I'll improv my line.
Yeah. Oh my God. Who's next?
Hey, Wade. Alright.
Hey, Wade.
Dude, Wade, your dad abandoned you at TK Maxx. Your dad abandoned you at TK Maxx. That's kind of mean, dude.
It's like, wait, you're like that scene where it's. I'm sorry, I can't get it
Wade
out.
is just like, Knuckles, I'm so sorry I misbehaved at the Shabbat dinner. And Knuckles is like, it's okay, don't worry about it. What are these little indentations you got here on this wrestling thing? Did you come on her, Wade? Come on her shoulder.
Whoa!
Did you-
Next question. Next super chat.
Did you fuck a cardboard cutout, Wade?
And then Wade's sister's just like.
Dude,
Like-
if you do that again, I'm gonna punch you in the face, I swear.
The character is already better.
How do I look, red man? You look like you're gonna tell Sonic not to come to school tomorrow. Alright, so David Crespo.
God.
David
Oh my
Crespo
God.
sends $1.99. Movie 3 really needs a 23 to 30 minute director's cut. A little short for a director's cut, don't you? I know what you really mean. I know what you really mean.
You mean extra?
I couldn't not make the joke.
That's not a
Thank you,
director's
David
cut. That's
Crespo.
an ADHD cut.
Oh my God.
Did you know I can say the entire alphabet in 1 second? It was a Family Guy bit where Peter's like, you just made a noise, Peter. Peter,
Oh,
you just made a noise.
oh my God! I just
Yeah, it was
Wanda
the
Whipple. Just the visual of Wanda Whipple doing the demonic just killing me. Oh my God! I'm sorry. That's so funny. Holy shit!
Okay.
But yeah, I would
Who's
would
next?
love to see like another 20 minutes or so, especially as I say, just to bridge Act 2 and 3 together a little better.
Maybe a 23-minute long TV.
My
Where
God,
Wade
I'm so
gotta be
sorry.
recites
Sonic
the
3,
events
but
of
it's
Sonic
actually the
3.
Smiling Friends.
Just like have the Eclipse cannon up there for more than 5 seconds. What felt
Running
like 5
friends.
seconds.
I don't know. That
30-minute
third act
episode.
was like a good solid 20, 30 minutes. And that one thing I did come away from this saying was the big third act finale battle felt much longer than a lot of Marvel ones.
That's fair. Yeah,
I don't watch
I think
enough Marvel movies.
Marvel movies kind of have to do a lot of build up.
But a Marvel
Because
movie
they're-
would be like, oh my God, we gotta get the Eclipse cannon. Okay. It's done. You know, like...
Yeah, it's up there. It's already there. We're good.
Well, it's right behind me, isn't it?
Guys, you're gonna want to look at this.
Guys, are you seeing this in the sky? Oh my,
Yeah.
OMG. Hashtag,
Like-
that's really scary. That's
Yeah.
really scary, guy.
Okay.
They fly now. They fly now.
Hey,
You know,
boy,
that's-
I understood that
You
reference.
gotta say it the way he said it. You don't just go, they fly now, they go,
Why is this going from Marvel movie to like the dialogue from Forspoken?
Well, you mean the Forspoken Awakens? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. There
Do
we
we
go.
have a? Do we have
And
like
that
a,
is how funny Marvel jokes are.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, we don't have like. A
He's
sound
here
effect
all
for
week.
crickets.
Unfortunately.
Guys, it was deliberate.
What were you gonna say, Frank?
Pup, I'm genuinely curious. Why is there a sound? Why is there a sound effect labeled "Maria gets shot"?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Hey, that works.
There you go.
I was hoping for crickets, but
Who's next? Is
Also,
it Frank?
they didn't cap the kid, but they blew the kid up, and I'll accept that. Like,
sure, why not?
I
Okay,
think that's
so-
a worse fate, personally
so-
speaking, but-
gotta be Grank. Grank is up next.
yeah,
let's clean up.
Fought to be Grink. Go ahead.
Gotta be Grank. That sounds offensive for some reason.
Yeah, that does. Greg sounds very, very bad. I don't know why.
Gross.
It sounds like a slur. I don't know why. Did we just make a new slur?
No, we did not make a
No,
new
we did
slur
not.
in
Please
the
don't-
year of our Lord
don't you-
2025.
Who do we
That's
use this
insane.
against? What demographic shall we choose?
No, we shouldn't.
Apparently, it was used
go.
against me.
Yeah.
What are you?
You probably don't want to use it against me then.
Yeah, no, don't want to use it against Frank.
Yeah, because he's a.
Yeah.
Is that Lycon 222?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
With the two oh god, I keep forgetting what this one is.
Rupees?
Russian?
I don't think it's right.
I don't think it's Russian. No.
What's okay?
Rupees.
Is
No?
it rupees?
I think he is the Brazilian real. Real.
Ah, real.
Alright.
Real.
Brazilian dollar reduced.
This is
there
the
we
thing
go.
that I keep saying that I should write down, and I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, well, anyway, I think Kristen will be a new enemy moving forward.
She will be the new Robotnik.
I think that's fine. It's just it would have been nice to see a little bit more after the whole thing at the.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we're not just gonna have strictly human villains in these Sonic movies forward, because like
yeah.
we've got Robotnik, and that's cool. Robotnik should be human, but then we got the Buyer and Jack Sinclair, who should have been Fang the Hunter. Would have been way cooler. You got Pistol Pete
True.
Whipple, who should have been Chaos. No, I'm joking. You got Pistol Pete. No, but how cool would it have been if inexplicably, rather than Jack Sinclair, it's Fang the Hunter, and it is never brought up the fact that he's a Jaboa.
Yeah.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say, how cool would it be to see Perfect Chaos bowling lanes?
Well, I just mean Carrie Elwee's
also
playing
cool.
Carrie Elwees, whatever his name is, playing
At the Ice Cap
Elwee.
Ski Lodge.
Playing. Oh yeah, other villains we got Agent Willoughby, we got fucking Agent Mason. They're all fucking
Didn't they
dudes
die or
and
something?
people. Kid Cudi insists that we haven't seen the last of Agent Mason, but I hope that's a joke because I don't fucking
because
care.
I remember they got they went between two rings that didn't really end up anywhere.
They could have ended up in. Also, I gotta say, another cool thing
Mushroom
Knuckles
Planet.
does is it made rings scary for a second. That's kind of cool. That scene
Oh yeah,
was
because
cool.
the closing in. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene
Yeah.
was actually really cool, and the Saturday Night's Alright scene was really good too. Like
Yeah.
every episode has one thing in there. I'm like, that's fucking awesome, and it's like we now return to our regularly scheduled fucking dog shit.
So what you're saying is you can find ways to like Knuckles.
Yeah,
No,
for starters,
I
do a lot of
refuse.
drugs, bash my head into a wall a few times.
Yeah.
Sit down and watch it with friends, and also just appreciate the filmmaking. That's something I'll always insist on: is Knuckles has excellent filmmaking, but the
I'm not there
writing
for filmmaking.
is toilet. Like,
It's like I'm not there for the filmmaking. I'm there to be entertained, and I was not.
well, I can be
Yeah.
entertained by the filmmaking of something because I'm into the film stuff. I like that kind of stuff. You know, I saw that musical sequence. I was like, that's fucking cool. But like, obviously, like if you're not into that kind of thing, then, yeah, Why do you think I like the Snyder movies so much? You think I like them for the plot? Fuck out of here. I mean, the plot's not bad, but like, come on, man. Like, come on. Silly.
I get what you mean. All right. Is it my turn?
Fuck.
I-
Borger tray.
think-
Tray Borger.
Oh, my bad. Twilord with €5 dollary dues. Thank you, Twilord. If Sonic were Irish street food and the movies were Chinese takeaway, they made a spectacular spice bag for movie 3. Their SA2 is a delicious meal.
Right, Twilord. We got to follow up on this then, because you were recommending that I have a spice bag. Now, I was in Belfast So there they call it a munchie box, which also makes way more sense to me because you munch it. It's not just a big bag of spice. But far be it of me to criticize. But I thought it was scran. It was scran delicious. You know, like that was. Yeah, it was a feast. I didn't eat the whole thing because I'm trying to actually get my weight down a little bit. But like, holy fuck, Lois, that was good. Yeah, that was fucking goated. I loved my time in Ireland. Like, I had a fucking blast. I made so many new friends too.
Let's go.
Now this is you, Webster. One is you.
Cool. So $4.99 from Well Fox Johnson. Thank you very much. To be honest, no food or movies. I'm out of here. Sounds better when Sonic's sticking a middle finger to being captured than using it as a bonding moment with police.
Fair, completely fair. I'm hoping that in a future movie, Sonic will have his realization that police are bad. But like for now, it's gonna be when he's trying to smoke the Zaza and he's got more than an ounce, and like Tom is like,
that'd be
well,
that'd
Sonic,
be
you
an
can't
conflict when.
Go on.
Like that'd be interesting when you think about it because like Tom is a cop.
Look, Tom, it's just a little grass. We have loads of it back home. I just want to be just like the guy from Clerks. What the fuck is the name of the Clerks guy now? Why does that name elude me?
Dante?
No, what? No,
Randall?
No, the director of Clerks.
Jay?
The director of Clerks.
Oh, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith.
I feel just like
I'm
Kevin
just going through all the character names.
Why did I forget Kevin Smith's name? Sometimes it just eludes me. But like, yeah, yeah. Like, he's just smoking away. He's like, I feel just like Snoop Dogg. And then fucking Tom Wachowski's like, well, Sonic, you can't have that. He's like, fuck you, Tom. So many police around when you just don't need them. And he's like, right,
Tom,
Sonic.
have you not heard ACAB? Okay? You might not think you're a bad person, but you're part of a bad system, and that makes you part of the problem.
Sonic, I'm gonna have to arrest you if you don't stop talking shit. Well, fuck you, Tom. I'm just like Vin Diesel. So, Tom Cruise and...
Oh no! It's Wanda Whipple. You know, yeah, there you go. And it's just...
What, Wanda? I've told you for the last fucking time. Wanda, we gotta get this. You need to get this under control, Wanda. Okay?
You punch like, ooh.
No, he just puts a fucking fork in her.
Yeah.
I think
it's like,
the
I
canon,
told you I would hit you. Yeah.
To be fair, the canon version of Knuckles is still Knuckles in a nutshell. Did you ever see that, Trey? Right,
No,
you must
I
have seen it,
didn't.
though. It was the one Dylan made for the PowerPoint party. It's where bowling is nice, actually, comes from.
I'll put it in the back room so they can watch it afterwards.
It's so fucking funny. Yeah, like, Knuckles like, bowl. Bowling is nice, actually.
We must.
Yeah, and
Is this like a Meat Canyon video? Like,
Wade's sister is like, Wade, I hate you. Fork you. And he just attacks him with a fork repeatedly. And Pistol Pete is a literal gun.
Like with a cowboy hat
And
on
he's
or
like,
something.
Wade, my son. And he just shoots Wade repeatedly.
Oh my god.
It's so good. It's
I'm
on the
sorry I'm
Sunset
coughing
City
so
Joe.
much. I'm dying over here. I'm sorry for coughing so much. It's just been
It's
holy
fine.
shit.
You're not spreading it to me.
No, yeah. Everyone in the chat, wear your masks, okay?
Actually, masks don't protect you. So the
the
COVID's a big conspircy, you know.
Well, I mean,
It's more about stopping the
conspiracy, my
germs
ass.
getting
I
out from
just
you
had
if
it.
you have a cold.
I just had it, pretty much. Like, I don't know what else to call it. Anyways, who's next?
You had an imaginary disease made by the government, bro. Okay, so it was me, wasn't it? Because Webster read the last. Twilord, the €5. Beware the alien freaking coming from that meteor. Not saying just say. No, Twilight, you're dead on. They are so setting up a potential.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. All right. Is it Frank? Franken?
Twilight with
is it
the
Frank?
5
Don't.
Sorry.
We've been over this. There are so many
Sorry,
ways this can go
euros.
south.
That is true. That is true.
I know Pup wants the next set of Sonic movies to be fully CG or CGI, but I want Sonic Muppets fighting Tokusatsu Kaiju.
Tokusatsu
Takes on the
Kaiju, you
final
said it
boss.
correctly. So kind of like think Megazords and stuff like that. Like
Okay.
old Japanese
I-
action stuff. And you know what, Twilord, what you're suggesting there, exactly what I want. Listen, if they made a fully CGI Sonic movie with minimal human characters in it, I would still want them to be tokusatsu-style kaiju characters, okay? Like, fuck, I'll take that over a fully CGI thing. And you know what? I don't need the movies to be fully CGI. I just would like to see a bit more of, like, the other worlds.
Yeah.
At this point. But, like, if they can, like, make the humans just kind of, like, window dressing like they did here, then I'm all too happy with that. Like, I still like Sonic in the human world. I prefer Sonic X's way of doing things to Sonic SatAM. I prefer, Sonic Unleashed's way of doing things to Sonic Forces. I like Sonic in human inhabited worlds. I just hope we'll get to see the other worlds. The only reason I said fully animated was so they could do like a Spider-Verse style things. But put it this way, movie 3 showed me just how far we can go with this, and I'm all on board. It's not every day we get movies that so congruently blend CGI characters with live action. We live in a day and age where you come out of your average blockbuster movie and you can point out a handful of shots as like, yeah, you could tell that was kind of ropey and it had to be kind of last minute and that the poor CGI artist was probably crying while working on it. The Sonic movies so far don't have that. Like, they are consistently a powerhouse of animation and CGI compositing. And you know what? I appreciate the art of that so much now that I'm happy for them to continue doing that, just as long as we get some cool locations. Sonic 3, obviously, a bit less Sonic Zoney than Sonic 2 was, because Sonic 2 you got Ice Cap and you got Labyrinth, but we still got the space colony arc, like, Tokyo's a cool environment. As long as it's not as fucking boring to look at as Sonic 1 was, we're cool.
I think in order for them to do like a Muppets thing, like how they did for the Knuckles show, I think you could do that for either like them planning out an attack. That would be funny.
I'm just gonna say, like, if they got to do another low budget show, but they want to do a Knuckles and Shadow thing, like Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves, and they want to do like a Shadow Knuckles series, leave them as puppets if you can't afford to have a minute more. Just leave them as puppets. I'll be fine.
Like the Santa short they did for Sonic 3.
Yeah, although that probably will have been painstaking. Like, that wouldn't have cost necessarily as much as the I'd imagine. The sheer working hours that would have gone into that would probably be comparable to it. Like, like, obviously, we got our first Wallace and Gromit movie over 10 years, I think. And I think the production timetable for a feature-length Wallace and Gromit film, given that their stop motion is 5 years, like, they are painful.
Goddamn.
And it's worth every second of that wait, because that recent Wallace and Gromit was fantastic. It's Britain's best export, Wallace and Gromit.
There you go.
Have you never seen Wallace and Gromit, Trey?
I've seen. It's been a while, but I have seen it. Yes.
Have you seen Wallace and Gromit, Frank?
It's been a few years.
Hold on, you said you've seen it as if there's only one of them.
It's a series. Like, there's like several shorts and then there's 2 features.
I've seen one of the features.
Yeah,
see Curse of the Were-Rabbit, then, I guess.
Yep.
That's a good film.
I know this is a very lukewarm take, and it's the same take everyone gives, but you need to see The Wrong Trousers.
The Wrong Trousers is a masterpiece. But you know what? I think Vengeance Most Foul more than lives up to it. I think A Close Shave doesn't get it.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I think it's just because I remember watching Chicken Run a lot more. Like, that's just
a lot of people love Chicken Run. I'm just more of a Wallace and Gromit guy than a Chicken guy, but like, I think Aardman animation is one of those things where it's like, I think, there's a lot of areas where British TV and entertainment are quite behind of like what's our big Doctor Who days, and it sucks. But like, fucking Aardman animation is legendary.
Legit.
To, Wallace and Gromit to Chicken Run. Like, I love claymation as well. But like,
you're coming out with a new film or it just released today.
What? Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul just released.
Most Foul.
Yeah. So that aired on BBC One in the UK. BBC on Christmas Day. And it's fantastic. Another thing though about these Wallace and Gromit things though is it's like, if you're going to commit the time to doing this stop motion animation, you need that script to be good, so they put so much care into that.
Yeah,
and they keep things simple. Yeah. It's a really nice kind of idealistic reflection of Britain. And
it's the last time you want reshoots and anything.
Yeah, and also because every single frame has to be so meticulously plotted, every frame of these
Yeah.
movies ends up being gorgeous, and it's just like,
Oh,
They also have a very distinct like art style because I think this was made by a different animation studio, but Flushed Away, I remember.
Flushed
seeing
Away
it
was
and
still
thinking-
by Aardman, but they paired up with DreamWorks
Okay.
because there was. I
That's
think
what
the
I thought,
reason they
yeah.
went CGI for that one was because there was like a shortage of clay or something. Like they fully intended
They're-
on it being a claymation.
Oh, really? Oh,
but
okay.
they tried to
Okay.
basically they enlisted DreamWorks to try to replicate the look of claymation. To me, it's never going to hit the same. You can, to be
Right.
fair, where technology is at, you can damn near make it identical. But the art of claymation is such a fucking wonderful art. It's like if we had
yeah.
an all claymation Sonic short or something, I'd be so there for it. But I also recognize how painstaking.
Yeah,
it's a
little
very
bit
brief
expensive.
side note on the Aardman stuff. You mentioned Chicken Run. The PS1 game of Chicken Run, so much better than it has any right to be.
It's also so fucking
yeah.
funny as well that there's a video game of Wallace and Gromit and Chicken Run and stuff like that. Like that's like it's such a bygone era when everything would get a fucking video game.
It is kind of the weirdest premise because like where would you even start with that? But I guess platformer would be the easiest thing to start with. But like, yeah,
Cracking
just-
Gromit.
Well, the Chicken Run game seems like it is a 3D platformer.
I think the Wallace and Gromit game was more like a Telltale kind of thing, structured in episodes. Which is actually a good way to go if you're gonna do it. We should move along though before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough.
the board.
Who is it? Is it me? Is it me? I?
You know what?
what?
Trey, just for the sake of it, I think you've.
Okay. Well, KB, thank you again for $9.99 US dollar dues. Thank you so much. I love Sonic 3, but it was a missed opportunity that while Eggman gets to say damn, Shadow didn't say that word once. Just like how Shadow didn't say damn in Shadow Gens at all.
So I'm gonna go one further. I wish you're allowed one fuck in a PG-13 or a PG
Yeah.
movie. I wanted him to say fuck. It would have been so funny.
It is
Even if
it
gets
is
cut
kind of
off.
It's like
It did-
perfect timing. Sonic falls away as I try to push the Eclipse Cannon back. He just looks at Sonic falling back to Earth and goes, fuck.
it's like
Oh.
fuck.
You fucking idiot.
The fucking dumbass. They did say badass as well. So it's like the use of other cuss words less likely for other
And
ones to be.
There was that bit where
put in,
Robotnik
yeah.
said Quilly dick.
What?
Yeah, where it was like he
I
took out
admit-
his Quilly dick and he pissed on my wife, Agent Stone.
No, that's not what happened. That's not.
He said it was this big.
I do like though how we did get an I have an announcement to make. I'm going to die scene. You know?
Yeah. It is funny
After the-
because like I feel like there were like references to the fandom. Not necessarily that was a reference to like the fandom or whatever, but like Shadow like loving Latinas with that one scene. I thought that was pretty funny.
Okay,
That's
just
that's
because
'cause
he watches a
Shadow just
Spanish
has
movie.
impeccable taste, okay?
You can watch
Just
a
because he-
telenovela.
Just because he watches La Ultima Passion doesn't mean he's into Latinas.
He was advocating for the. No, he
here's the
loves.
I
thing.
know
Latinas.
he is. I know he is.
No, I
Yeah.
think he actually is into that. And you know what? Impeccable taste.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Absolutely.
Man of culture.
Agreed.
Also, after the moon was struck, the first thing I thought of, well, that moon's been pissed on.
You know what I actually like as well, though, is that in the post credits, you see Amy rise up to the moon, and the moon's behind her, and it's broken. And I'm like, that is hard. That is awesome. That's rock hard.
More consistency than the games gave us for a long time.
Which is also
But it was turned
crazy
out,
because Dark
it was
Beginnings
turned
had.
the other way.
But that's also crazy because Dark Beginnings had the moon all fucked up, but then Shadow Generations didn't.
Yeah, I remember saying that as well. Where you see
That's
like,
crazy.
where you see like and it's like in the first things that you see in Shadow Gens, where he gets the wings for the first time. In the moon's in the background, it just looks fine, and it's like, all right, dude. What
So
happened?
something I found very, very weird is it just struck me now mentioning Dark Beginnings, but in that when he's going up to the Ark at the end and he's having almost that panic attack, he's imagining a possible future for him and Maria in that field of grass at nighttime. And actually, Sonic Movie 3, does that scene, but they actually get to go. That's a really nice little tie-in.
I agree with that, because it's also
balloon.
the balloon flowers as well. Another thing I just considered, though, is actually that shot with him with the wings and the moon. He's at Radical Highway, and if we're taking into account the time travel aspect, I'm pretty sure the Radical Highway thing was before the moon got. So maybe, actually.
Yeah, Radical Highway, that would make sense.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's
said maybe.
I gotta be the one that shaves me.
And after all, we blew up the fucking moon.
Yep.
You make it sound more Britpunk.
I love Broaces.
God.
Okay, Webster.
Yes.
Okay. Twilord with €10. Thank you again. Not even Sonic is more marketable than Shadow, and you all know it. If you don't realize you know, that's because you're too deep in the closet about something to listen to your heart.
Damn, you didn't have to attack everyone like that, Twilight.
First of all,
Shadow's part
just
of what series again?
just because I'm in the closet doesn't mean anything. Like, what does that have to do with it?
And as for me, I'm not gay, but
Maybe I'm just in the closet because I need this fabulous shirt, darling.
Yeah, maybe I'm just recording my voice lines, and this is the best way to do it. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's too real.
It is too real.
Just like, don't want the sound to bounce.
No, but I was thinking, you know how Sega always learns kind of the wrong lessons and stuff? Like, after the Year of Shadow was probably not only one of the most profitable years for Sonic, like, ever, also being, like, the most critically acclaimed year for Sonic ever, I wouldn't kind of blame Sega for being like, oh, we've been betting on the wrong horse the whole time. Get ready for the eternity of Shadow. And Sonic is just like, he's off, you know?
I think there's the Tales Tube New Year one. They had Year of Shadow crossed out in the background, then Year of Sonic written in. And then there's this cute little scribble on the side that was like, what about the Year of Tails? And Sonic's reply to him, like, fucking no, dude. Just no.
No.
Not happening.
You don't get a year.
You know, actually, speaking of, like, kind of Tails things, though, if they do want to give Tails a bit of focus, I saw a fantastic suggestion on Facebook Mark. I want to get the name of the person. They're in a Sonic the Hedgehog Facebook group. A person called Terrell Rogers said, hear me out. If Tails was ever to get his own spin-off, definitely has to be with him and Agent Stone. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think the Wade and Knuckles thing worked, but I think Agent Stone and Tails is kind of too good. Like, I'm always game to see more of Agent Stone anyway, and I would love a Tails movie. But also, like,
it's
if
just
you got
Agent Stone teaching him how to make coffee.
But you could make you could make a very sharp, witty sort of one if you had like the right writers on. Like, I think a Tails and Agent Stone spin-off would be fantastic if you have the right writers. So I'd be game.
I agree.
I can't wait for Dylan to make a video based on that. Stone, we must make coffee.
Stone, we must make stone.
Revenge Guac.
Well, Tails would be like intelligent Squawk.
Intelligent Squawk.
Being a fucking orphan Guac. Freak Guac.
Oh my god. Freak Guac is crazy. Who's next? Who's next? Who's next?
Borgard. Okay, so David Crespo sends $1.99. Glad that a worked in Shadow's love for Latina. We kind of covered that, didn't we? Like,
we just did, yeah.
He has La Ultima Passion. I will say that is a really funny running gag, but I also remember when they announced that, like, it was Sophia Pern. Name of the other fella. Well, anyways, I remember, like, because they also announced Kristen Ritter as well. I was like, if they're announcing all these human characters and they're not announcing Amy, I do wonder, like, what the priorities of these are and stuff. Then when I found out they were just relegated to those cutaways, I was like, oh, I see what you... So these human characters aren't massively, like, human characters after all. They're just for a fun little... Oh, you're so silly. You're so silly, Sonic movie.
They like expensive jokes.
Yeah, I like this shit. Like, if they want to have, like, little in-universe TV shows, and yeah, like, Shadow, I really appreciate that he didn't get a lot of jokes, but when he did get jokes, they were fun. Like him commentating on La Ultima Passion, and the Revenge Guac joke was fun in my opinion. I know some people think it's a bit dumb, but I thought it was fun.
I was fine with it.
I was as fine with that as I am taking candy from a baby.
I fucking hate that line so much.
How can you hate that line? It's so fucking
Because
funny.
I do.
It's so funny.
Dumb.
It's so far from self-awareness, yet it's so unserious at the same time. Like, that's the thing. It's not trying to be funny, it's just unserious, you know? Like...
It's almost like, who's he talking to and trying to convince in that scene? You know,
I feel
taking
like...
candy from a baby, which is fine by me. I want that to be clear.
This is the kind of dialogue you would get if you let Dwayne Johnson produce a Shadow movie.
Oh,
Like,
God, no.
Because it's like Black Adam is like that. And that's why I really like Black Adam. But, yeah, fucking Shadow, yeah. I actually thought of something. Like, remember when, like, all the rumors were that, like, Dwayne Johnson would play Knuckles?
Yes.
That might be the better timeline, because if Dwayne Johnson played Knuckles, he would insist on Knuckles having all of the time in the Knuckles.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
He'd demand it.
I'm done seeing Dwayne Johnson on in movies or hearing about him being in another movie.
I'm just game for it, man. I just, like, you know what?
I'm
Like,
not.
I see what he's up.
I've seen too many movies with him in it, and I think I'm okay for the rest of my life. I don't need to see him in another one.
Every time I hear about him, I'm just like, oh, what's he up to this time? And it's
Oh,
just like,
what is he
he's playing the
doing?
same character in another movie.
yeah, it's
Like-
just fun to just keep an eye on him. I'm a keen observer.
I'd be happy for The Rock to do a third Jumanji just because I need to see more of Karen Gillan doing a Tomb Raider impression.
Leave her alone, Webster. Leave her alone. Back off.
That's funny.
Back off.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
No, she is not.
Yeah, she's
Like,
not.
Amy Pond is the one thing that could maybe get me to watch a season of Doctor Who.
She's nobody's. She is 100% her own, and that is so fucking. But anyways, okay.
Who's next?
Frank.
Yes.
Whale Fox Johnson with the $1.99 American Dollar dues. I had to reread that to make sure.
Wait,
I'm
another.
also
Oh, wait,
glad
there's two of these that are the same.
They work in Shadow's Love for Latinas. Again,
Is this a copy pasta? Am I going insane? What's happened here?
oh,
He's also glad. Okay.
Oh, he's also glad. Oh, okay,
although
yeah.
if anybody else is glad, feel free to send in a super chat.
Yeah.
Honestly,
anyone else
Shadow,
glad?
impeccable taste. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
It's true.
Not about shut. And aboard. We got Trey. You're up.
Hey. All right, so Will Fox Johnson with $4.99 US dollar dues. Thank you, Will Fox Johnson. As an Archie Sonic fan, Le Ultima Passion felt like a reference to Sonic and Jeffrey fighting over Sally like a prize. Shadow's response was great.
Shadow's response.
It was great, yeah.
It would. Be
That is
cool
the
if
third
was-
super chat in a row about that had something to do with that show.
With Latinas.
I feel like knowing
Which-
like what Azuka's like, it would be like, hi, I just checked over the Sonic 3. Still good. So we're all go. Yeah, I really love the Ultimate Passion bit. Well, that was actually a reference to Archie. Delete it.
His eyes glow red after seeing it.
Get that out of here. Unacceptable. Okay.
Okay, I've got this one, I think. Terios Kintabor, very good username. $5 US. Dr. Starline is the villain of the fourth film, spying on Eggman like Tails did for Sonic, copying badniks to take over planets and Metal Sonics to avenge Eggman.
And Eggman's just like, were you watching me in the shower? That's the trick question, Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman takes the bath.
Yeah, didn't really answer the question, did it, Tails? That's
That's even
kind of creepy,
creepier.
mate. That's
Well, it's not like
Although-
Sonic. Sonic doesn't have a dick, so like I don't think it matters. He's already naked
Yeah, but
anyway.
if they're spying on Eggman,
Yeah, see, Eggman. No, he doesn't have a dick anymore either. They cut it off. Why do you
Given
think
the
he's so angry?
Kinkable-
Why do you think he's so
No.
unhappy?
stop.
No, they just
Fuck.
got a saw out. It was just on there, you know,
Stop.
just like in the games.
Anyway, given the Kinterball username, I'm surprised they didn't go with Brutus. So Brutus was a super badnik in the comics, and basically had the exact same brain patterns as Robotnik. But that also made him smart enough to be like, hang on, I've got all of your brain, but also in this big metal body, I've got brawn, which you don't have. And then Brutus tries to usurp Robotnik, and that's a really fun arc. So that could be, if they really want to go for a deep cut, Brutus could be fun. I'd love to see Brutus.
We've also learned to not give Pup an open mic.
I was just gonna say, give me your lunch money.
So that took 165 episodes for you to learn, Trey?
That's the thing, is the old Sunset City gang was super fucking irresponsible leaving me. So this is actually all their fault, okay?
Yeah.
You found a way to blame Nick.
Nick, Wayne,
Yeah,
You know,
Cyrus.
you're more than welcome.
to
more than
Nick,
welcome to
Wayne,
come over.
Cyrus, the other one. No, Gilly. I'm joking.
to defend Pup here. Apparently, the Sunset City crew always wanted me to be on, but they just didn't know when I could be, like as a full-time thing.
I
So it's not-
enacted the final testament of the late Nick.
So what you're saying is that you do accept some responsibility for this.
That is true.
I do.
Well, no, also, I recognize that Trey needed to be a... Like, I was like, come on, this is your chance to get Trey as a main. Like, take.
It's been an honor for sure. So yeah, and plus,
Come here, give me a wet kick.
all right, just
Oh, wait, you have a girlfriend now. Get away from me.
that is true. That is true.
Yeah, I know,
Get
you keep
permission before you go
reminding
for that.
us.
Yeah.
God, you never shut up about it.
You brought that up. You were the one who brought that up this time. I didn't.
Hey,
bring it up.
congrats, man. Get
I
some.
know, ain't I just a little
thank you.
rascal? A little
Thank you.
guy.
Thank you.
I feel like all
First of all, not little guy,
First of all.
average.
No, I'm okay, right. Okay.
Maybe a little too big.
Yeah. It's some aspects maybe a little bit too big. Yeah, exactly.
What I was getting at is I feel like my shtick could not be pulled off by a person above.
Oh, fair.
It would just come off
Fair
as
enough.
creepy. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, you're definitely not Logan.
can you imagine if I had a human avatar? Like, that would just ruin everything.
Yeah.
Fuck. Me, right?
Yeah.
Whale Fox Johnson. 199. Yeah. I'm gonna try and not keep. Yeah, $1.99. Burger outs for Wade Whipple. Fuck you. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
I disagree.
Next up is Frank.
Who's this? Oh, Frank. Yeah,
My great rolls for $10 US dues.
that's an awesome
Hi,
name, by
guys.
the way.
Hi guys, happy 2025. No better way to spend the first weekend of the new year than watching a new Sunset City. Have some money and have a good year. Thank you very much for that.
That's very
Hope
sweet.
you have a
Thank
good
you.
year as well.
Nobody likes a brown nose migrant. I'm just.
No,
I'm fucking around. No, thank you, my great rolls. You're too kind. Trey.
is it Nexel Zida? Nexel Zeta?
it's the one that doesn't have a burger beneath it.
No, yes, it is next.
No, I meant how to pronounce it. You freaking.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to
Yeah.
assume it's like Rita Repulsa, but with a Z.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nexel Zeta with 10 US dollar dues. Thank you. Apparently, Idris and Keanu want a Knuckles and Shadow Show spinoff, and personally, it shouldn't be pure comedy show. Let's focus on this universe's lore with some light humor without ruining their serious vibe.
Full
I
agree.
think
that
that
would be-
that would be cool.
Also, imagine
would
the
be
power
expensive.
move though. it would be so expensive. But if they could genuinely,
be.
if they could genuinely put up the money, or maybe Idris Elba and Keanu Reeves were like, "Hey, easy," like, it would be very good. Also, imagine like, oh, we got a new Knuckles spin-off series. Oh, right, yeah. We're replacing Wade though. Oh, what? No. But with Shadow.
God.
Oh yeah, with Shadow. That's such a cool idea.
Yeah, Pup, I don't understand where these reactions are coming from. We're replacing Wade Whipple. Oh no, I don't know where that one comes from.
Did somebody say Wade Whipple?
Nade Nipple.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
I don't.
Please, you do.
A little bit.
Next super chat.
If you
Tangents.
weren't
Webster.
already married.
Thank you.
Yes.
Webster, you're up.
Joe Madre, $10. Thank you very much. Tails responding to Amy and Knuckles' resolutions with, "But you already do that," solidified my belief that their Frontiers arcs weren't meant to indicate future developments, just reintroduce them. Which I think is kind of similar to what you were saying earlier, but
like, hey,
Yeah.
Amy, you still thinking about the Coco? Yeah, actually, and more. I've decided I'm going to do the same fucking thing I've been doing this whole time. Oh, Amy, that's really stunning and brave of you. Yeah.
Stunning and brave is great. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
So, Sonic, I've decided that Hitler was bad. Whoa, that's controversial, Knuckles. Whoa.
I was afraid of where that was going.
Thanks, Charlie Knuckles. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe Madre. $10 super chat is very generous. Okay, all right. So, recipe is strictly hypothetically.
Oh,
The
now
story
he's doing
for
the dollar dues.
strictly hypothetically, the story for Sonic Movie 4 is revealed. Turns out it doesn't adapt Heroes or CD, but primarily Sonic for the game. What will you do? Complain relentlessly? Ride in the streets? Actually defend? Right, I got an answer to that.
I will.
I'll actually
bitch
gotta
about
defend
it
it.
the whole time.
I'll defend it because getting Metal Sonic, Little Planet, the Death Egg Mark II in a Sonic movie is kind of awesome. So
I would bitch about it because it's Sonic 4.
yeah, but like I mean, so it's not, you know, like there are elements of Sonic 4 that you could totally like. Would you rather see him run around Green Hills, Montana again, or Splash Hill Zone?
He's just gonna be standing like on the freaking wall.
Yeah, Spider Sonic, awesome in movies, not in gameplay. I mean, he did that in Sonic Prime, and that was fucking awesome, right?
I never saw Sonic Prime.
It was alright.
Yeah, I don't watch like Mickey Mouse cartoons.
That is right.
Oh.
That if you said Mickey
Oh.
Mouse Clubhouse, that's one thing because that show's for babies. But Mickey Mouse cartoons,
Yeah, that's
like, they're
exactly what
worth-
I meant.
They're worth checking out, man. That's classic animation.
That was exactly what I meant. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Also, I realize I've been doing something very stupid in terms of keeping track of who's talking when. Instead of looking at who lights up green on Discord, I've been looking at
YouTube.
the stream
I've
on YouTube, which is a delay by about 30 seconds. So I'm like, oh, Trey makes a good point, or oh, Frank makes a good point, and it's the other one.
I've done.
Sorry,
it.
guys.
It's all right. Okay. Right, we got a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Frank.
Nexel Zeta for $5 US. I say take the Archie Amy route for movie Amy. She's fun, bubbly, can be the voice of reason sometimes, and a badass.
But the thing is, with Archie Amy, she's directly responsible for the death of Sally's fucking dad. Because they needed
Even better.
They needed like the pool of youth to save him, but she used it so she could be aged up, be the same age as Sonic, and kiss him. Like,
Oh.
yeah. But that's pre-boot Archie Amy. Like, so pre-boot Archie Amy is a child in a teenage hedgehog's body. Like,
That's
Creepy.
weird.
yeah, it's fucky. Also, I forgot to mention how fucking generous Mr. I really. Next was
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
generous. People are being so generous today, and like genuinely, fuck you guys, you sad bastards. There's something.
No.
They no, I need this. Okay, so Borger, Trey.
Yes, it's AB. KB with a $9.99 US dollar reduced. Thank you, KB. Have you guys seen the Screen Rant interviews about movie 3? There's a lot of interesting stuff said by the directors, like how Tom was going to get killed off and how Amy was going to have a bigger role. I didn't even
did
know
see
about
that.
that. Yeah.
Now,
That
it is quite amazing that there's a Screen Rant article that isn't obviously written by an AI, but yeah, they did have that interview with the screenwriters. Yeah, it was the screenwriters that were talking about this, and yeah, how they originally did try to work Amy into movie 3, but decided that it was not doing her justice because she didn't have enough to do here. And you know what? I'm on board with it now. Now that I've seen it, I'm on board with it. And yeah, Tom was gonna get fucking iced, but I think they decided against it.
It seemed like that's what they were going for after his run-in with Shadow.
Yeah, I think
Oh yeah.
they probably
yeah.
realized that if you have Shadow kill Sonic's dad, it's very difficult for Sonic to forgive. Whereas if he just breaks his dad's arm, it's a bit easy.
Maybe if he knocked him out, that would have been enough, but it
Like, I've
really
seen-
looked like he just killed him.
I've seen
It's
if
kind
you-
of cake and eat it.
Maybe if you knocked him up, that would be okay. No, I've seen Brother Bear, and the second that fucking bear is like, "I forgive you for killing my mom," I'm like, bull fucking shit. Best handling I've ever seen of that was in Marvel Spider-Man 2, when Miles is like, "I'm not gonna forgive you. I don't have it in me, but I accept that you are alive, and I will not try to end you."
So I'm gonna say that they had their cake and ate it, because for all Sonic knew, Tom's life was in the balance and it could go either way. And that's, even under those circumstances, he gives out the olive branch, and that, yeah, it allows them to have their cake and eat it.
I guess. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where I
Yeah.
like to think that if it's like, okay, they have this adventure, they stop the space colony arc, him and Shadow are buddies, Sonic comes back down to Earth. Oh, I'm sorry, Tom didn't make it. Sonic goes super again out of just pure anger. He doesn't even need the anger now. And just goes to fucking murder Shadow. And he's like, no, he goes to the graveyard where Maria's buried, grabs her skeleton and drags it to wherever Shadow is like,
Jesus.
this is what you did to Tom!
How would he know where her grave is?
He's so angry that he just knows that now.
What if she was cremated?
He's so angry that he can put the atoms back together.
Okay, so Frank's got the next one.
Yeah, he has.
Oz Productions with the $5 US. I want Amy to be a competent warrior until she meets Sonic and becomes a devout romantic. Also, the movies confirmed Sonic has toes in film 1.
Why
Yeah,
was
but we were
that
talking about the
necessary,
games.
Oz? Why was that necessary? I know he's
Because
got.
we are filthy animals.
I mean, he has paws. He has paws. He got fucking paws. He just really
But we were
tickles
talking about the games, like specifically like adventure.
So also,
yeah.
Amy starts out as Knuckles. She is literally Knuckles, and then Knuckles gradually turns into Amy.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
I think it's Oz again for Trey.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it is.
yep.
Okay,
Well, we
Oz
get-
Productions with
We can
$5
talk about
US
a
dollar
great
reduced.
subject.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me make sure. Those anti-woke people are weird because they hail the Sonic movies. Did they just blank out every second of Agent Stone's screen time?
I think those people would deny that Agent Stone is in.
That
I
is
think
true.
they'd probably be like, they're
Yeah.
just bros, bro. Like, there's literally people that deny that Knuckles and Sonic are totally eye-fucking each other in Sonic Frontiers.
That's
There's
true.
literally people that can deny that. If
Yeah.
you can deny that, you can deny Agent Stone.
I think maybe they
Interesting.
mean more like the actor is openly gay.
Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that, but like, fair enough. Yeah, nah.
I could
I mean,
be
you think
wrong
they've
on
watched
that,
the
but
Sonic
yeah.
movies, really? But yeah, like the Sonic movies are in some ways fairly progressive. In other ways, actually quite unprogressive, like the aforementioned disguise scene. But we'll just off. And also the fact it took so long to get a girl hedgehog in there, but hey, like we made it. Look forward to the grifters when Sonic 4 comes out. They're gonna be complaining about Amy. Hasn't been here.
Yeah.
They're probably complaining about her now.
The Sonic 3 post credits just fucking leaked, and fuck.
They have a girl one now. That's so crazy.
They have a
this is
girl
the-
Sonic.
Placing male characters.
And of course she just wipes the floor with all these robots. that I
Comes in
don't
and
know.
she makes Sonic look incompetent, and she insults the size of his wiener, and by doing that she insults the size of my wiener, and my mom says it's big.
Okay, that's insane.
I was gonna make
That's
a
such an
joke
insane
of
sentence.
yeah, that is. I was gonna make a joke of like, oh, her like I found out her name was Princess Sally from like the U.S. manual.
Oh yeah.
So they've introduced Princess Sally into the Sonic movie, and they're trying to say that she's as exciting as Shadow. Shadow? What the fuck?
Let's not go further.
I think what we could agree is that the anti-woke brigade are happy to ignore certain things if it furthers their narrative, and are not always the most genuine of people.
That's true.
Yeah.
The grift goes.
I feel like the joke has,
reached its
reached its end, ran its course.
Climax.
Yeah.
And KB, bless him.
It concluded.
KB, bless him, is up next with another $9.99 US. He's paid for like a year's worth of Netflix subscriptions in just this one stream.
KB's so nice. For
Yes.
more reasons than just money. Like, KB's just a nice...
Yeah.
A tad irresponsible with his money, but I do appreciate him telling us good morning, everybody.
Do we know KB's a guy?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I always assume the avatar is Bubsy, and it's clearly not Bubsy.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I think
Yeah,
it looks like it
same.
could be like Bubsy's neighbor or something.
What could possibly go wrong?
But this one's like, what could possibly go right? But he's still cheery.
So with the newest Tales tube, we finally know the pink-haired girl is named Professor Victoria, most likely the one who recovered Gerald's journal. Also, Tangle was seen at Amy's New Year's party.
Wait, back the fuck up. The pink-haired girl is called Amy. You literally just referred to her like, KB, are you stupid or something? No, I'm joking. Yeah, Professor Victoria is the mystery lady.
What the fuck?
But also Tangle there. I didn't notice that. I want to see that now.
Yeah, I did, in Nick's server, there was a bit of chat around whether Professor Victoria could be the little sister of Maria that's mentioned in Gerald's journal, because it seems weird to bring that in 20 years later. But also, professors usually go by their surname, not their first name. But if she was Professor Robotnik, that'd give the game away immediately. So
Nick, who's Nick? I have no idea.
just some rando. It's fine.
Yeah.
Also, KB,
Fucking
thanks for letting
idiot.
us know. We didn't want to like be rude and just assume things.
Oh, KB.
Sorry, we assumed your profile picture was a Bubsy OC.
So my son has nothing to do. Oh, for fuck's sake. As in, for fuck's sake, you guys. Why did you make fun? Why did you say he was Bubsy?
Pup, you have no.
I don't know. Every time I've seen it, I've thought Bubsy, and then I've looked twice and been like, "No, that's not Bubsy."
I've said
but it
this
does
whole
feel.
time that he's an original character.
Okay.
I did this. No, you should have seen. Webster, did you see yesterday? Bob was like, "Come here, Pop. They got this rhythm game. It's got Sonic in it and stuff." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's take a look." And I see Nick and Steve playing this rhythm game, and I'm like, "I don't see no Sonic in this. Sonic's definitely not." Telling him there's no Sonic in here. He's like, he is in this. He's fucking telling me I can't do Bob's accent. But then when Sonic appears on screen, he goes, "See?" And I go, "Yeah, that's why I fucking told you Sonic's in this game. You were the one saying he wasn't in it." So I just,
That machine unironically had Caramel Dancing as one of the songs he could play.
But the thing I've learned is that you can
That
be
fucking
wrong
song.
and still win an argument by just immediately switching sides.
I mean, isn't the saying like it's hard to win an argument against a smart person, but it's damn near impossible to win one against an idiot?
Hey, fuck you. I'm not an idiot. I'm cool.
I'm just
awesome.
saying. That's the saying. That's the
No, yeah,
saying.
There's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, well, my uncle says it's big.
Should we?
odd.
I think you're up next, and then we might need to do a cut off for the super chats.
Okay, we'll do a little super chat cutoff in the. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
as in we'll keep reading the ones that are already in, but new ones would be just but in case listeners go, oh shit, what does that mean?
I'm just gonna put unless it's. Okay, right. All right, so Twilode, €5. Having pups permission to fuck myself? Oh no, Twilode, no!
What did you
it.
call him?
Stop it, Twilode.
Pup, what did you call him?
Twilode.
Good
No.
Lord.
That's how we've been
Twilord?
pronouncing it for several episodes now. What the fuck?
Chat, you
So it's
caught
sort of
that.
like goes from
Everybody in chat, you caught
Milady
that one.
to Milord to Twilord. That's the progression.
It's Twilord, okay?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a
Twilord.
Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Chat,
or like-
rewind. You
Oh,
got that.
lordy.
Okay.
Oh.
Rewind, enhance.
Enhance.
All right, Franken, you're
Please,
up
Frank.
with
Yeah.
these Swiss francs here.
How appropriate. Go Kenji with 2 Swiss francs. I think American ones are better. Oh shoot.
You didn't see me
Happy
roll my eyes
2025.
there.
I had to scroll up because
How did it take so long for you to read that?
I had to scroll back up because Discord just goes all the way to the beginning.
What is this,
Or to its most recent message.
Happy 2025.
Yeah, happy 2025.
2025 is gonna be my year. Already fucked it up.
No, 2026 will be my year.
Orger.
All right. So my turn. KB with $9.99 US dollar reduced. Thank you, KB. As of this year, the Bumblecast will no longer answer Sonic related questions. Thoughts? To
They
be
are
perfectly
in-
honest,
An unenviable.
I think to be very honest, I am actually surprised it went for as long as it did because of how
Barry
strict
Report's
Sega.
dead.
Wait, was it?
It's not dead. No, it's not dead yet.
No.
Sounds
No,
like
no.
don't
I
bury
meant
it before
them.
it's dead.
No,
No,
No, no, I'm not-
discussion.
no. What I'm saying is Sonic discussion because
Oh.
Sega has been very tight-lipped about a lot of things. Yet, Ian was able to talk about a lot of these, things or answer questions. Yeah, basically behind the scenes stuff like on the podcast. And then personally, I'm just surprised that it did go on for this long because
Yeah, I'm
usually
shocked.
that's a conflict of interest, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's say,
Contractually murky.
yeah, let's say,
Yeah.
for example, and I'm not saying this is ever going to really happen, but let's say I got like hired by Sega for whatever. I couldn't be on the show anymore because it would be a conflict of interest. Because
well, no, it would be a conflict of interest you working for Sega, so work for Sega.
okay, I'm just yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't be able to work for
Employee.
Sega. But that's the thing. It's contractually murky. It's a conflict of interest. That's the biggest thing. And a conflict of interest basically means that like even though Ian is he hired by Sega or is he more so like a freelance writer?
I think it would
for Sega.
technically be contract.
Just
Yeah,
contracted.
Either way, like,
Yeah.
if
He's still-
if they're
he's
working
still
on something
representative.
right now.
Yeah, he's still representative of Sega,
Yeah.
and they're still working
It's
on
like
stuff.
if he wants
Yeah.
to like get contracted again, probably a good knock that on the head. What I will say is that they are in an unenviable position because they basically have to rework the podcast into something else entirely. Because like you look at the titles, you look at the thumbnails of previous episodes, and a big draw of that show is Sonic. And there's a lot of
Yeah, that's
people
true.
that would listen to that show in hopes of catching a little glimpse of what's next for Sonic. Now, I wouldn't say it's the right reason to listen because Ian Flynn couldn't even do that anyway. But as it was, you could tell
Yep.
a bit of how behind the scenes was like. And the thing is, it is a very Sonic-centric podcast, and I fully believe that they can make an entertaining show without talking about Sonic because they're entertaining people. But
Sure.
whether or not that's going to pull in the views or not is a different conversation. Whether or not,
Yeah.
because
You can't you couldn't say pivot Sunset City from Sonic to Power Rangers and not lose half your people.
or it would be
there's
like
Probably-
if
we'd
we
probably lose
announced
more than half.
It would be like if we announced that like the whole cast of Sunset City were departing and it'd be replaced with a new cast.
I don't know about
You'd
that
have to have
one.
some really awesome fans to stick around. Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. No,
but,
like
the thing is, I was actually kind of amazed at like what an open mind people kept to the new cast. So like, I'm happy about it.
it also helps that a lot of us have been on the show prior to
That's not
it
true.
being a
That's not even remotely
So-
true.
I said
so
some
you're
of us.
literally- You're literally the only one.
Am I the
I,
only one?
I was never on the podcast.
Yeah,
until it was
Frank
like, oh,
wasn't
hey.
on Sunset
wow.
City until post Old Gang.
What about Dylan?
Dylan was in the unwatchable live action Sunset City. You know, the Sonic Fan Jam one. He cameos in that.
Oh
But
yeah,
he
that's
wasn't
right.
really
That-
aware of Sunset
was
City's
crazy.
existence until I spoke to him about needing a new co-host. So
okay. Well,
And I was
there
in
you
the
go.
same boat where like I got in a call with Pup and Dylan, and that's how I learned about the podcast.
yeah.
well, I just want to say, to Pup, you're welcome.
Hey, listen, I sent you pictures of my foot. Okay, respect me.
I'm just saying, like,
With this
at least
toeless
there's
foot.
at least there's some familiar faces here, right? You know,
Actually,
that way-
I do kind of have just like 4.5 toes rather than.
Oh,
It's just one big toe with one big toenail.
No. One of them is actually kind of connected to the. Like that's
Oh,
okay.
You know more about my
Ah.
feet than you need to know. Anyway, how do we move on? Okay. Someone
That's a
said,
good
the
question.
next super chat.
I've lost track of whose turn it is.
I want to do it.
Oh,
Okay.
I read the last one.
When it's
So
Webster.
whoever is after me. Yeah. it's Webster.
Okay. $2 from Oz Productions. Thank you again. Sonic 3, the more fun stuff version.
I see what you're getting at, all right? But I'm just going to point this out right now. Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff version, is exactly how you don't do an extended cut, in my opinion. Because I enjoyed seeing those scenes, but there's a place for scenes like them, and it's
It's
called...
in 0.5 speed.
Well, no, I was going to say it's called the DVD menu. Put them in the deleted scenes. Because the thing with the more fun stuff version is, yeah, it was cool seeing No Way Home in the cinema again, but they stop the movie dead so many times for extended joke sequences. Like, am I watching a fucking SNL skit? There's a reason why this stuff was... Like, the theatrical cut's better, man. But, like...
No, because here's the thing: like, if it was an SNL skit, it would just make it to air no matter what. Whoever runs SNL, you could have removed Elon as Wario.
I mean, yeah.
We could have
Yeah.
We could have gone without that,
Yeah, that's fair.
and also
Yeah.
that what was it, Gen Z Hospital?
Okay, yeah, admittedly, like, SNL is very rarely funny. And the more fun stuff version has its moments. I mean, everything I like about No Way Home is in the more fun stuff version, but, like, out of all of those additional scenes, there's only, like, 2 that I would keep. But anyways. Hey, it's me. Nexel Zeta with the $10. With Sonic Movie 3 ending, how do you think Agent Stone should be in the game? As Eggman's first legit friend? A better assistant, Dr. Starline and Snively? I maybe think Agent Stone should just be a movie. Unless they can get Lee Majdoob to voice, in which case, fair enough.
Oh,
I
that'd
think
be
there's-
cool.
Yeah.
There's only one guy that can play Agent Stone, and that's Lee.
He's done game stuff. He was in Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Also, I
He
just
is
say
the
make him photographic, while every other
Yeah,
character's
just make him the
cartoony.
most realistic looking one.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
every
make
other
him- yeah.
character is cartoony looking, but Agent Stone is just a biblically accurate.
In fact, just have like every scene with him be an FMV of just him green screened into the world, right? Right? You coming with me?
Yeah,
And
I'm
then everyone
sad.
else is in their game counterparts. Yeah.
I was gonna say do like an even older version of it, like with the for like King Kong, where they had it on a projector.
Yeah.
You know, they could
But get
also-
like
like you could have it so it's like, oh, my Eggman died, so I've come to this dimension where you've got another Eggman, and let's just say there's more of him to love.
okay, so he's the Scarlet Witch now.
Except
Yeah.
Except he's like much more logical about it than Scarlet Witch was.
Yeah. It is going to be interesting seeing Agent Stone in the next couple movies because he's going to be in them. I have no doubt.
Surely
Like,
they're not just like
Yeah.
okay, get out. Surely
yeah, Lee loves doing it too much. Like me meeting
And
him
everyone
at
loves him.
Expo. Like
everybody
Yeah.
loves him too.
like he's a sweetheart. He's awesome. So I honestly think he's going to get more of like a redemption-esque like kind of like role in the next movie where he's actually going to help out the heroes.
Remember when I said it was kind of concerning that Sonic 4 would have to be like the first Sonic movie since the second one that doesn't have a redemption arc? Well, Stone. Get him in
There you
there.
go.
Maybe
Yeah.
he could help the gang to like take down the robots. This is one of those things where it's like usually if you tell me, oh, a human character's getting a bigger role, I'm gonna be like, I'm skeptical about that. But Stone,
No,
fuck it,
Agent
let's
Stone's
see
great.
what he's got.
Yeah.
Let him make Scratch and Grab. That would be.
That would be really funny.
God.
Who's next?
Gunner with the $2 finally learned that Purple Lady is Professor Victoria.
We that one earlier,
Yeah.
but I think that was probably not known at the time. But yeah, like hell yeah, thank you, Gunner.
Is it my turn? I think it is. Lord. Ooh, I got the hiccup. Sorry. Lord, with 2 euro dollar reduced. Thank you, Lord. Need a revenge guac recipe. I'm pretty sure it's just
First
avocado.
You add the avocado, and
Yeah, it's
then
just
you add the anguish.
yeah,
Then you add the pain,
yeah.
And then a little bit of chili powder that you just don't tell anybody about.
and you
Yeah.
gotta watch La Ultima Passion. Well,
Yeah.
That one's
While
that's a
cooking.
very, very big part of it.
Yeah,
you're
if
not
you
watching
don't
it,
do
then
that,
you're doing it all wrong.
it will just turn into poo.
Yep.
It will become
Also-
it will become tasteless green filth, or in other words, game apologist.
Oh
Hey.
my god, no! I love Nick.
I love Nick too.
Oh, also, before we continue, there are 2 more super chats after the last KB one.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no. No, we got it.
Oh, are they in
Yeah.
there? Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah,
My bad.
so we have a very generous 50 Swiss francs from Zerbim, who simply says, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Zerbim. This is
Happy
gonna be
New
your
Year.
year. I'm not jinxing it because I'm gonna now jinx it so hard that it unjinxes itself. This is so gonna be your year. Nothing could ever go wrong at all, no matter how minuscule. There, now it'll be fine. Well, Lord, €5. Knuckles brings Iblis. Shadow's biggest villain is Shadow's second biggest villain. Sorry, is Mephiles. Just set it in Italy. I mean, you might as well, because Soleana and all that, you know. And since they seem to be doing the
yeah,
going around the
true.
world thing, I'm still
Yeah.
hoping we'll get Vegas at some point. I know we had Reno, but I don't feel satisfied with that being our casino.
Yeah. That's true. I want a Casino Night Zone rap.
Like, let's
Yeah.
see some
Can't wait
actual casinos as opposed to bowling.
Can't wait to see Memphis in the Sonic movies.
What Sonic Zone do you hope to see next? Memphis.
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Norfolk.
Oi!
South
It's-
Dakota.
Oh, I'm sorry, Webster. I forgot that your favorite
Take them
town
to
is a great
Vermont.
Sonic Zone.
I can take the piss out of web-footed, incest, inbred, backwards Norfolk, because I'm from there. But you don't.
Webbed feet? I've got webbed feet. Oh my god. That's it. Oh my god, it's the I should have known.
We're
Yeah.
we're learning too much about their feet.
What do you mean
And
there?
our teeth.
I'm a he.
Norfolk, the county of the underbite.
Very insecure.
Anyway, KB with the $9.99. That was a weird way that I said it. $9.99. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and Prime comparisons have gone too far. Clubhouse at least knew what it wanted to be. unlike Prime.
Also, to
Hey,
be fair, Frank, when you said
valid.
$9.99, KB might as well that much.
If we
Yeah,
add
KB
them
has-
all up
I
from
think
this
KB
stream
has spent as
alone,
much. I think it would exceed that.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, KB.
Did we?
And you know what? You have a very good point. Probably, I'm going to take your word for it.
KB, you are the kindest Hollywood elite.
Did we? So I know the next one that we have listed is Nexel Zeta, but I think Twilord actually
You are
had one right
correct.
before.
We have bypassed. Let's add
Yeah.
Twilord into the mix. Okay, so we'll do Twilord first then.
Okay. So
Good
I guess it's
observation.
me. No problem. Twilord with €2. Euro dollar reduce. Sorry, my bad.
Guru dues.
Euro dues.
Guru dues.
he's a dude, you're a dude, everybody's a dude.
It's you're a dude. No, thank you, by the way. Professor Gerald, in quotes, is said a lot. Like in the movie? Or just in general?
Now he says it a lot in Shadow General.
Yeah.
Oh, is this like referring to like when they say Professor something? It's always like a first name.
I mean, if I
I
had
don't-
the title of Professor anything, I would want because it's just
That
cool.
is I think it's fine because it's like Dr. Eggman, like everyone just calls him Dr. Eggman.
No, they
Professor
don't. They call him
Gerald.
Dr. Robotnik.
Or,
Yeah,
or
that's true.
either
cool kid.
or.
I think that's why we have to default to Professor Gerald. Otherwise, it'd be Dr. Robotnik
Again,
and Professor
Dr. Robotnik.
Robotnik.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
as my
exactly.
flatmate refers to them as Bertram and Bertram Senior. Which
Okay.
for some
Professor
reason
Bertram.
it works though. Not even that, just Bertram. He doesn't even have a
Bertram.
last name. He is just called Bertram.
Amazing.
But it actually kind of suits him though. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like anyway, so yeah, if you can't get Jim Carrey back, Bertram is the next villain.
It looks like I'm wrapping us up with Nexel Zeta, another $5. Thank you again. It's another one where I think if we comboed up all the ones they've dropped in the stream alone, it'd be quite a bit. An idea: a movie Tales and Agent Stone versus a Battle Brid Armanda. Now
Didn't they
I'm
have
gonna.
like they had like a name like the Battle Bird Cuckoo.
Oh, is this from Tales' Game Gear game? Because I was
Yeah,
about to
Tales
say
of
I don't know who
Adventure.
that
That's
Oh,
right,
is.
there's
yeah,
something Battle
yeah.
Cuckoo.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
you're right. Yeah, I'm picking up where you're putting down.
Which is
Yeah,
saying.
I'm smelling where you're stepping. You know, like that.
What?
I'm tasting what you just
Yeah.
stepped in.
Yeah, exactly. My dad used to said that like I'm smelling where you're stepping, and I've just never. I thought that's just what everyone said, but then I said it one time, and people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. It's just a saying. I don't know. I thought it
Well-
was just like anything else."
To everyone who sent in a super chat, Daddy thanks you. Thank you very much. I don't know why I worded it that way, but
That was
Daddy
so fucking
thanks
cursed.
you.
Because I just paid your rent.
Chad thanks you. Okay, round table. Webster, what are you up to? What you at this week?
Yeah, getting back in after the Christmas New Year break. Next video will probably be the overdue and lengthy Tomb Raider 2 video. The thing everyone here will probably be most interested in, though, is the recent what could Sonic have been on the Saturn had it got a mainline game.
Because I think they're gonna.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is live already on my channel, and you can go check that out
Oh, heck
right
yeah.
now.
I'll do that actually.
Frank.
I haven't worked on a damn thing. I'm almost done with the Sonic Generations video. It's okay. We're only like 2.5 months late.
That's fine.
Hey, it works. It's fine.
I have stuff from Sage that I wanted to make. Only 6 months late on those. And I am also in the middle of working on an anime review for a show I don't like.
Oh,
There you go.
phew. I thought you were about to tell me you liked an anime. I have to. Well,
I
because
do
all
like
anime is
certain anime
bad.
shows. Just the first one I've decided to review, I don't like it.
I saw this anime called Cowboy Bebop, and it was terrible.
And it's like,
I've
oh,
never seen it.
I'm joking. Cowboy
it-
Bebop's a fucking masterpiece. If I
and if
said
anybody
that,
wants to know,
yeah.
if anybody wants to know the show, it's Sword Art Online.
also, I'm just saying
Oh,
straight
wow.
up. I know we had the cutoff, but this person's been.
Go for it.
I'll do it. Nexus Eater with the $5 super. Thank you. Mean it, super chat cut off now. Hales gets to be his own character, and Stone following Eggman's footsteps, trying to save the world. You got a movie or a show right there, and you are dick.
Thank you for
Thank
the
you
super
again.
chats. It's been
Very generous. Frank, did you finish saying what?
And I'll stream once in a while on the YouTube channel. I know I was going to be backing off from that, but if I feel like it, I'll do it. And that's all.
well. There you go.
Uh,
What's up? Is that?
What?
Oh, it's a skeleton!
Well, not everyone's
Wait a
got through their stuff yet. What are you doing?
Trey,
I know.
Trey, what are you
It's
up to?
usually during the outro.
Ah,
Right.
okay. Yes. Yeah.
I like how, I like how,
Hey.
Okay,
I like how
what-
people in chat are like, "Oh, it's just Sword Art Online."
Oh yeah.
Oh,
This is gonna be a fun video to work on.
so it's not Cowboy Boy Bop, damn it. Trey, what are you up to?
You know what? Maybe one day I will watch it.
You've had your turn.
So I'm trying to get over my sickness at the moment, which is why I sound very nasally. But how you hear me now in terms of my mic and everything is the kind of setup I'm going to be using from now on. I've been testing out streaming my music making process, and hopefully I can pull that off in a more like I guess like organic way on my YouTube channel. Like I'm actually going to start trying to like make content again for my YouTube channel and stuff like that, make covers again, just release more music in general. I think it will be super fun. And I'm going to MagFest January 18th through the 20th. So if you guys are going to MagFest, don't hesitate to, stop by and just say hi. I'm not going there as a guest. I'm going there strictly as a visitor, but
I'll be
it'll be
there.
fun. It'll be fun seeing everyone. You're going to be there?
I'll see you there.
You'll see me there?
Yeah, I will.
Oh, awesome.
Exciting, right?
Like legit. Yeah, like legit, you're going to MagFest?
no.
Oh my god, Pop, what the fuck? But yeah, I'm also, and I know this has been in the works for a while, but I am working on a new kind of rebrand for my channel, but it's actually starting. Well, it's already been started, and I just need to get done with it.
Yeah,
I've just been
you're
sick.
going to begin starting.
I'm going to begin my kind
Gordon
of.
is about
it's
to
not gonna
begin
be like
starting.
It's not going to be a hard rebrand. It's just going to be like a new look for the channel, which is not going to be anything too crazy, but still enough to like hopefully pique people's interest and hopefully
Been
I can get a
hyping this
good.
for 5 years, so I'm really looking.
Not 5 years, my
It's
lord.
been literally 5 years.
And I've been working on my own original music as well. So a
We
lot
got
of stuff in the
cover
works.
of Down with the Sickness, still unwell.
So it's just okay.
the
Give me a second.
Now I gotta edit
Oh,
that. I gotta
No,
edit
like
that.
you just start coughing afterwards.
I gotta edit that
Shut the fuck
into.
up.
I gotta edit that into my new video, my new YouTube video showing off pictures of Spider-Man 3 coming soon to theaters.
Oh man. But yes, that's all I'm working on at the moment. Hopefully you caught all of that. It's very exciting stuff, and
How could you
I'm
say
just,
that while you're unwell? You just said hopefully you caught all that, dick.
no, I meant like in terms of my plans for the
When
future.
when a sick guy says, "I hope."
Yeah. I hope all of yours. If all of you are sick, that means no one will be. Like that's how that works.
Welcome to the new norm.
The new.
The new norm ain't the same as the old norm. I want normal
also,
beer.
I don't mean to take up too much air anymore, but I'm also working on a video talking about video game DAWs as well, which is very interesting.
So much going on for a guy with no subscribers.
I know, right? I'm trying to change that. All right, I'm flipping you off at the moment.
We're gonna get it.
You know,
2025 is going to be your year, Trey.
You know what? Thank you. I'm manifesting it.
I'm jinxing
I
it.
once. You're jinxing it. No, don't
Yeah.
jinx it. What the fuck? Why would you do that?
It's okay. I'll do the same thing I did earlier. Nothing could go wrong, Trey. Nothing.
Nothing.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I just
You
think-
little chaos monkey.
Oh my gosh. I love you, pup. Mwah.
Now kiss.
That was on my Billy zone.
Please tell me we're cut off
Oh,
now.
no,
Please
we're
tell
not.
me.
No,
too.
I haven't promoted my own shit yet.
Oh yeah, promote your
Move
own
on.
your own stuff. I'm sorry. Go on. Ahead.
I did a video recently on Eggman Drip, on like ranking his different looks over the year. But I kept it to just 21 because I think that's really. Yeah, that's that for now. I'm working on other stuff, but this year is the previous year was definitely the year of Shadow, but like it was on my channel a very Sonic centric year. This year I'm going to be pivoting more to D. That's going to be cool. So yeah, you guys aren't interested. Go away. All right, out of here.
Well, you don't have to ask me twice.
No, I don't want this to end.
It was
Not the
nice
skeleton.
seeing you too.
No, not the skeleton.